the shop. Pull up to the block and you can shop. Better watch out, cause the cops hot. We shoot a shot if we see the eye. You can't ball if you ain't got no hustle. I keep my grind on, fuck the struggle.
What up, sports fans? It's your man D back. Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. That's right, we back. We getting it cranking. Let's go. So, Wilder gets no respect. Dang, Dubois, the prospect, the up-and-coming prospect, arguably the best prospect, says he wants Deontay Wilder. Wow, let's go. Then Dylan Real Deal Price, formerly of Mayweather Promotions, up-and-coming prospect, pretty sharp-looking kid, one of the smaller guys right now. I think he's in light bantamweight or bantamweight, something like that. Well, one of the smaller guys. His dad said that he'll probably end his career out at 122, 126. But he's an interesting prospect, and they decided not to continue with Mayweather Promotions, and we're going to talk about that. So this is what this live is about, and anything else we decide to talk about. So for the love of sports, let's talk about it. All right, guys, so Jacko Davis in the building. What's good with you, Jacko Davis? Appreciate you coming through, fam. Jacko Davis says bantamweight, huh? Yeah, little guys right now, but he's really sharp. He's a really sharp kid. I was looking at some film on him and reading through the articles. I really wanted to talk about what happened with him in Mayweather Promotions, because it's pretty interesting what his father had to say about it and why they decided not to move forward with him at Mayweather Promotions. Let me do something right quick, Jacko. Because these YouTube, I tell you guys what, man, YouTube notifications are they're terrible right now. I put this up a little bit ahead of time so that, I put this up, feedback a little bit ahead of time so that you guys could, get an idea. But who knows, man? I don't know what's going on with these notifications. I'm just getting ready to share this in a couple of places right quick. Get some people to come in here and kick it with us. So you guys give me a quick second. Let me see here. Share it there. Jacko says, let me see. Jacko says, see a lot of people catching on with PBC. I hope more guys go Lou DiBella, Eddie. Yeah, interesting you say that, and we're going to talk about that. These up-and-coming fighters, they catching wind of that nonsense. Iron Cone in the building. What's good with your Iron Cone? Intangible Boxing. What's up, Intangible Boxing? Mr. Spooks in the building. What's good? Jacko says, hell, I would rather sign with Golden Boy for a bit. Yeah, and that's a risky deal too. But yeah, I feel you. Jacko. I mean, like you said, a lot of people are beginning to catch on. Everybody hit that like and share it if you can right quick, so we get some more people here. I'm ready to tweet this out real quick. I already hit it up on Facebook and Discord. These notifications, bro, it's like you gotta do self-notifications. It's all good. All right, that's done. Back to business. So, Dylan Price, Raider from LA, what's up with you, fam? I see you down there. I aim to promote myself with Hearns funds. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Yeah, we definitely gonna talk about. I'm getting ready to put the link in the chat so y'all, whoever wants to come up here can come up here, kick it a little bit too. Who's catching on to PBC now? The new young fighters. That's what the statement. I mean, that's what the comment was about. The up and coming prospects and guys coming into the game are catching on to the PBC nonsense. Nonsense is what he was talking about. Iron Cone. Hold on for a second. Drop this link in the chat right quick, everybody. All right. I'll paste that. Come join the panel. Blah, 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 blah. All right, there's the link just in case any of you guys want to jump up. I'm biased in the building. He says smash the like button. That's right, smash the like button. Share this if y'all can. Appreciate that. It's the most important thing to grow the Speaking Mind Sports Talk family. All right, guys. So the link is in the chat. Any of you guys want to come up, Iron Cone, Mr. Spools, Bow, Raider, Intangible, or anybody else, feel free to click that link, come up and discuss this. I am officially signed with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom MX. Oh, yeah? Boom. That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Good man to sign with. I'll hop on in a minute. Okay, Intangible. That's what's up. Nova Silka in the building. He said, how come Joshua doesn't have to defend the IBO mandatory? Let's talk about that in a minute. Nova Silka, I will get to that. So if, I go on, I got this topic with Dylan Price, new prospect coming up, and then also another prospect, which we all know and heard of, Daniel Dubois. So let's talk about that, those two things first. And before I move to the next topic, make sure you remind me of this Joshua situation because that's pretty interesting. So moving on to Dylan Price. So formerly a part of Mayweather Promotions, his father and his partner already had a smaller promotion company, really smaller promotion company, B&B Promotions, and they've actually done some fights and everything at a smaller scale. So they're pretty informed about the business, the inner workings and the upsides and downsides to self-promoting versus going with one of the majors. But he's decided to not re-sign with Mayweather Promotions and to pull his son back and to put his son under the B&B banner and self-promote for now. And what he was saying, his father also has gone to training his son. So this is something else that we're starting to see too, guys. A lot of father-son combinations. This may become a theme in boxing, which we've had this historically in boxing, but it's starting to become more common because these fathers, they learn the game, they learn the training skills, and they don't have the faith in a lot of these companies, these teams, the management teams, the promotional companies. So they're doing it themselves. You know what I mean? Alexander Usyk is Joshua's IBO ranked #1 contender. Yeah. Chat in the building. What's up, sis? Appreciate you coming through. Intangible say he's also a Mando on the WBO side. Yep. Usyk is a beasting right now. Hey, boxing. What's up? He says, when AJ gonna fight Miller, does anyone know if Miller was suspended by the IBF at that time? I don't think he entered the rankings when the fight was announced. Here's the thing with that whole Miller situation and why he basically got just a slap on the wrist. So the venue was set up in New York. So a lot of this fell on the New York Athletic Commission to levy these, his being banned and all of this type of stuff. Well, he wasn't licensed when they found out that, he was dirty. So because he wasn't licensed, tap on the wrist. So a lot of things that should apply or was saying that maybe would apply, AA boxing didn't apply to Dillian White. And of course it could be a cover up and some bullshit to get him back. But that was the reason they gave, because he wasn't licensed in the state of New York. So they didn't levy too many punishments. As far as the sanctioning bodies, they just as crooked as these promoters out here. So no telling why it didn't go down that way. They probably have their bullshit reasonings, but you know how that goes. Hawker Mustang in the building. What's good? What's good? WBO, not IBO. Okay. Intangible, you two guys. Oh, all right. And Intangible says both. So yeah, AA boxing, I'll say this: nobody gives a damn about Miller. Yeah, that might be true. All right, guys, let me get back to, Miller was suspended by IBF for not fighting Pula. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. We need that Miller fight. If AJ comes back to America, he needs to fight Miller at Madison Square Garden. It's supposed to be. Yeah, I don't know, but let me stick on these first two topics, guys. We'll move to the AJ Miller situation a little bit later. Black and Brown Boxing in the building. What's good with your fam? Appreciate you coming through. Let me drop that link in the chat just in case you're gonna jump on. So back to Dylan Price. And so his father was saying they're going to pull on, self-promote. So right now he's 10-0. He had a no contest, actually. And they said the Mayweather Promotions, even though, you know, these guys are all about the old must not grow and all this stuff, he said they were actually gracious about the no contest. They didn't lose faith in the kid. They were very supportive. He said, so he did have that positive to say about him, that the whole old must not go. They didn't really push that aura, or they didn't have that environment like shit on the kid because he had a no contest. They still have him listed as 10-0. The no contest, I suppose it didn't go down as a loss, but Dylan Price and himself and his team took that as a loss, a learning experience. Now, what his father said was that they actually took that fight, which is amazing to me, the night before, because the fight that they were supposed to have fell through. And because it was on a card and they wanted to get his son exposed, he said that he made a mistake and rushed into that fight. And they took it the night before. Wow. But the kid still performed pretty good. The fight ended in a no contest. But, you know, he said that was a lesson being learned. But moving on to Mayweather Promotions and why they decided to leave him. Listen, guys, it's what we've all been talking about. Now, this is a fighter, a very interesting prospect that was signed with the money team, but now his father's coming out and saying, guys, remember, his father and his partner understands the business, the inner and outer workings of the business. They may not as much as Floyd and Ellerby and these guys, but they've been involved. They've actually done fights and everything. And he said he has absolutely no confidence at all. Toby Bartlett in the building. What's up with you, fam? South Croy in the building. I'm going to get to that comment in a second. South Croy, appreciate y'all two coming through. He says he has no faith in all and putting his son in the care of Mayweather Promotions, that they're going to move him in the right direction. He says he doesn't like the way that they move young fighters. He wants his son to be challenged. He wants his son to try to achieve greatness, and he doesn't have confidence that the TMT will move him in that direction. So he decided to not re-sign with TMT and do their own thing and place his son under the B&B promotional company, which is the promotional company with him and his partner. He's also pulled out of doing the promotions, and it has allowed his partner and I guess their management to take over. And he's going full-time and training his son in boxing. And again, that just goes to talk about a lot of these father-son combinations, which is starting to be a more common thing. And his father spoke on that as well. He said that in the amateurs, you're seeing a lot of these fathers, they're taking it into their own hands, but they're dedicating themselves, guys, to learn how to train. So he said that he see these guys are dedicating themselves. A lot of these guys have already been fans and affiliated somehow with the sport. They're just taking it into their own hands and self-training their sons and not really relying on the corruption, out there in boxing. Shiz Biz in the building. What's good with your Shiz Biz? Appreciate you coming through. Let's get back to South Core's comment. South Core said boxing need to revisit some of their rules. If they can't punish a known cheat because he wasn't licensed, then they should at least refuse the license to such person. Yeah, I agree with that. Great comment, South Core. Somehow I don't think Mayweather Promotions are actually making a profit. It would appear that way, but I think they are, because they ain't fucking paying those fighters nothing, and these contracts are so ridiculous. So they're making money, bro. Trust me. You don't stay in business if you don't make money. So they're definitely making money. So Intangible steps up in the building. Unrivaled steps up in the building. What's up with you guys this morning, fellas, or this afternoon here?
What's up?
What's up? All right, guys. So right now I'm talking about a Dylan Price, young prospect coming up, smaller guy.
Yeah. Nobody talking about Price.
Well,
he's a young kid. Yeah, he's a young kid. Bronze medalist in the World Youth Amateur Championship think he got bronze in the or silver. He did well in the nationals when he was like 15, but there wasn't many people in his weight division, to be honest. He's doing okay. I think he has a no contest, doesn't he? 10-0 and no contest.
I just spoke about that. Yep.
Yeah, he's a slick fighter, quick hands, but he needs to gain a lot more strength in those divisions because those guys will eat him alive right now. Once he steps up, because it goes from one extreme to the other. There's a whole load of like not good, and then it gets very elite very quick.
Yeah, I agree. And I noticed too because I was doing.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the guy as well. I've watched him.
Oh, okay, and I did notice this too, Mark, because I was just doing a little film on him, looking at the kid to see just what I did. Also notice, Mark, is they have to work on this kid defensively because he gets hit. He gets hit, and he gets hit irresponsibly. It's not a thing to get hit because you're gonna get hit. It's fucking combat sport.
Yeah, it always happens as he lunges in to place a shot.
Right.
And he gets caught with catch with checks or like just straight shots or jabs.
Right.
He leaves himself completely open.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he doesn't really put his hands up.
Open.
He doesn't really put his hands up.
No.
He doesn't protect the side of his head.
Right.
He just steps in, with the jab, trying to lunge in. But for some, yeah.
And see, the thing is this: that's the woes of these prospects. These are the things, these are the habits, the muscle memory, the things that they're gonna have to train on, do over and over and over in the gym to get him accustomed to doing that. These are adjustments that can be made with this kid. That he'll be an extreme threat when he overcomes these flaws. Also, what Mark was talking about is the strength factor, which that is fucking valid as hell because he's going to have to get that man strength in there. The good thing about Dylan Price, he's still young, so he's not even into his man strength yet, and once he gets there, I think it's uphill for the kid. You know what I mean? I think it's uphill for the kid. I think his father definitely made a good move by deciding to pull him away from TMT because he would have been ruined had he stayed there, in my opinion. He would have been
agree.
ruined. Yeah.
He's a Philly fighter, isn't he?
That I'm not. No, but I think
I'm pretty sure he was born in Philly. He might be based out of NJ though.
Okay, right. I think, but I read something about that, Mark. But my memory is not like yours, dog. I can't really.
No, he's good. I remember seeing like more of in the amateurs, like when I was looking through the U prospects a few years ago. He has very good hands when he lets his hands go. They're fucking. He has very good shot selection. His power against the guys he's stopping looks good, but you can see there's not a lot on those shots. It's just quick. You can't see them coming sometimes. But yeah, defense needs to work. His strength, being able to, walk people down more. And he needs to. One thing he definitely needs to work on is cutting the ring off, man. He needs to work on that.
For sure.
And also just, creating shots for himself, being able to allow his opponent to walk into his shots because if he's facing a taller fighter, the only way he can create a shot for himself is if he just lunges in and takes a chance on that.
The good news for him is there's not many people in his division that are actually taller than him. He's 5'5", 5'6". There's not many that are actually taller than him. So that's the one good thing.
Yeah.
Silent 99 in the building. What's good with you, Silent 99? Appreciate you coming through, bro. He said Wilder is getting massively underrated now. He would mess up most of the division still. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. That's part of the topic, bro. So
it is funny though, isn't it? It is funny how he gets fucked up by Tyson Fury, and apparently everybody's gonna beat Deontay Wilder now. Like,
it's hilarious. But that is definitely a part of the topic. So we gotta touch that one, guys. Trust me,
yeah,
for sure.
Even though I think the fight exposed a lot about Wilder's weaknesses,
we'll get to it intangible. We'll get to it. Okay.
Am I speaking Chinese? Hold off, because that's a good topic. That's why you itching to talk about it so much. Look, but Scott Brown, appreciate you coming through, fam. Scott said both would definitely KO Hrgovic. Scott Brown.
Dog hear you say that, bro.
Scott Brown.
Yeah, bro, you've woken up the beast.
Stop it, dog. You cannot say that around L Dog or me because I'll come out and say that I like Hrgovic. We were just talking about him. I think Hrgovic is going to surprise a whole lot of people. I will say that. I won't just give Daniel Dubois, especially before this fight with Joyce, I wouldn't just give him that win over Hrgovic. But so let's stick to Price right now. So he was also, guys, they were also asked about, well, since he's leaving Mayweather Promotion, which is a done deal, they're not re-signing with him, how about Eddie Hearn? So, and I was really intrigued to hear this. So what his father spoke about is that they have already actually talked to Eddie Hearn. So when they decided to leave Floyd Mayweather, he said that was one of the guys that he talked with. But he did not like basically the offer that was given to him. And the way he took it is that he just needs to build his son's stock. So what they want to do is get him to like 16-0, 17-0, and then revisit that. But they are definitely interested in Eddie Hearn. And me personally, I think that would be an excellent move because Eddie Hearn is moving these young fighters in the right direction. He's doing his best to anyway. So what do you guys think about that in the Eddie Hearn situation with this young guy, Dylan Price?
Rising his stock, right? His stock won't rise getting to 16, 17 now if he's fighting the same level of opposition and he's not on a network. He needs some type of TV time somewhere, or like app time. Like he needs to be on a DAZN card, like the bottom of the card. He needs to, because like at the end of the day, let's look at what's the name of that dude. His name's escaping me. Alta Jones. You know Alta Jones the third, right?
Yeah.
He's got a larger name than Dylan. He's got a much larger name than him.
Right.
And he's had less fights. The only reason for that is because he went onto a network. The second Eddie Hearn mentions you, your stock will rise. And I don't know what the offer for the kid was, but you can't be looking for large offers for a super flyweight.
Right. Yeah,
there's no stock in it, unfortunately. Only like massively hardcore fans follow that division. Nobody really follows it, especially at prospect stage. Yeah. There ain't no casuals lining up, like pure casuals lining up to watch fucking Kazuto Ioka versus Yerwin Ancajas, bro. No. They don't know who the fuck they are.
Fucking top guys, they don't get the recognition. So I agree with you 100% on that, bro. I agree with you 100% on that. I mean, so many aspects, and variables involved in all of this. That's a hell of a point. His father, though, what his father was saying, because he actually kind of spoke on that too, is that, and it's risky, of course, but they know people. They actually have some connections so that they could get him some decent fights, or at least this is what his hopes is. But we know if you're not in with the majors, then you're going to get kind of shoved around there. But he says that he could get him. They're pretty confident that they can get him some noticeable fights, at least enough to make the offers a little better. He didn't say that they lowballed him or anything. He didn't say that about Hearn. He was just saying that he felt like it would be better for them to hold off and receive a bit of a better offer. So it wasn't like he said, oh, Eddie Hearn tried to give me some trash and we said no. Now, he actually gave Hearn a lot of respect and said that he felt like that he was the best in the business to move these young fighters. So he did, that's pretty much what it was.
I just go from he wants 6-7 more fights, right?
Right.
I don't think they'll make much more money, right? And unless they're fighting on a network, like if they're on ESPN or they're on whatever, they're not going to get him any more stock in his name. So I would just say, like, raise his name a little bit better, have him fight on the DAZN cards, and get him pretty much the same amount of money you'll be able to get from, or maybe more money than you'll be able to get from elsewhere, because that will, 1, raise his stock, 2, raise his profile, and 3, give him the cash, because he's in that building stage. Like, I wouldn't be refusing. If I was them, if I'm leaving TMT, this is just me. If I'm a pro fighter and anyone's looking to sign me up, I'd take any deal from any of these networks. If it's any of them that have money behind them and a big name like DAZN, ESPN, fucking even PBC, I would take it, mate. To be honest, because you need to make your money. You need to get your name out there, and they all have large networks. They all have undercards you can go on to. Like, I get the idea of wanting to raise your stock, but bro, you could be on a fucking undercard for like a Golovkin fight, or you could be on the undercard of a Joshua fight, or you can be on all these mad undercards out of fucking nowhere, and you'll be more famous in one of those fights than you would be in the next 7, 8, 9 fights.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, just to piggyback off of what you're talking about, to add validity to what Mark is saying here, which I totally agree with. Look at Jaron in his boots. He's extreme talent. He has this kid's a 10-0, so he has 15 more fights than this kid, and he doesn't really have a name. I mean, and that just goes to show. And he's kind of taking the path that Dylan Price's father's talking about taking, kind of trying to build himself up on his own without getting with any of these majors. And he's 25 fights in and still not really much stock. So what Mark is saying is, I agree with it. I definitely agree with it.
And look, the other thing about these promotions is they can get you somewhere that you can't get on your own.
Exactly.
That's into the rankings.
Yep, exactly.
You need their help.
Shit, they can pay you. They can pay for you to be put in the rankings.
Eddie Hearn in 2 fights could get that kid a WBA international title. That's not a joke. He could. He could get him into the top 15 rankings. He's done. If you look at Charlie Edwards, Charlie Edwards got to be a world champion in only 12 fights at flyweight. You know what I mean? So Martinez fighting for world titles in only 14. He goes over to Matchroom. He gets a world fucking title fight.
Right. And he's also getting world recognition too, because he's an American fighter, but he's going to be showcasing him over there in the UK as well. You know what I mean? So he's getting recognition out of the country early, which is a lot of fighters that are already established don't have that. They've not fought anywhere but in their backyard. So
if you sign to Eddie Hearn and you're American, you gain whether it's a large one or a small one, you gain a UK audience. You actually do. Yeah. If you look at Nikita Ababi, guys from the UK, quite a few of them, they come in and say, "How's Nikita getting on?" Or I remember before he debuted, people were like, "What do you think of Eddie's new prospect?" They don't like Nkosi Solomon, right? Before he had his fight, like they come and ask you that because they're associated with Eddie Hearn. Yeah. When Devin Haney signed with Eddie Hearn, he went from being a good prospect to people saying that he's the next coming of Floyd.
Yeah, and he was all over fucking IFL TV and BT Sports and all of that too. So
Eddie Hearn also put a tweet out when he signed him, right, saying that he wanted to bump up his Twitter followers. He came onto Twitter. I think he had like 10,000. Eddie Hearn got him to 26,000 followers in a day. That's nearly doubling your stock. And Eddie Hearn's fan base is mostly UK. I mean, Eddie can do that for you. Other promoters don't really do the whole stock thing, but Eddie's he's kind of like a public figure to the audience. Yeah. They find him much more accessible. All the interviews he gives, so he's kind of one that people can. I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, but the dude knows how to get your name out there. I don't care what if you clip to his name.
Toward him. A lot of people gravitate toward Eddie, and that's just it. Mr. Spooks says, "Nice panel, appreciate you, Mr. Spooks." Queen Lisa in the building. What's good with you, Queen Lisa? Shizbiz says, "Is Wilder the best?" Fuck no. Wilder's not the best anything. I didn't even finish the question, Shizbiz. Wilder ain't the best of nothing. I'm not saying
American heavyweight.
I'm saying people are saying Wilder gets beat up. Oh yeah. We're gonna get that.
But I mean, who the hell is an American heavyweight anyways? Besides Wilder.
Yeah, right.
Andy Ruiz.
I guess.
I mean, they got FA job, but I mean, listen, guys, let's not.
FA is Nigerian.
Yeah. I know, but he's fighting on the American. This is what I was just about to say. That, like, I don't really care where these guys are from. It's just like what Mark, we was talking about Teofimo last night. Yeah, he's Honduran, but he's fighting as an American, bro. He fought in the Olympics. The trial he went to was for the Americans. I don't care if it was situational or not. If that's the flag that's next to your name, then that's what. I don't know why I just went out, but if that's the flag that's next to your name, then that's what I'm considering you. So, but yeah, you're right, Mark. He's Nigerian, but again, he's fighting basically under the American banner. He's not representing Nigeria, so.
Bro, you go over to Nigeria and tell them that. Well, you see,
I ain't going over there and get beat up. I'm not going over there and get my ass whooped. Steven Schneider in the building said Andy Ruiz is technically in. Yeah. We were just going through that. Yeah, no doubt. You know, Andy Ruiz is American or Mexican when he decides to be. That's how Andy Ruiz plays it. So, okay, guys. So enough about Dylan Price. Let's get into what everybody, I think, is itching to get into. I can't wait till Get the Smoke comes here because he'll probably join the panel with us. Chen Smoke in the building. What's good with you, Chen Smoke? I'm going down, guys, making sure I didn't miss anybody. Junior Moreno stepped in. Fury humiliated Wilder in both fights, in my opinion. Those two fights were his first step-up fights. I agree with that. Anything a little lower hurt him, like an Ortiz. Yep. I don't have a problem with that. So here's the topic, guys. Deontay Wilder gets no respect. And I put that out there intentionally because I'm not saying that he gets no respect from me. But what's going on around the boxing community? And interestingly enough, what I'm finding is what's going on with the fighters themselves. The dude is getting a lot less respect. Bye, Miss America Pie. Speaking my sports talk. Who you got, Dubois or Joyce? Dubois. So the fighters themselves and, you know, the media surrounding Wilder is starting to get less respect, bro. Daniel Dubois, I've actually heard this from Dubois here recently. And a couple of other younger fighters are looking at Wilder as a little more than a freaking gatekeeper, guys. And that is disrespect. So Daniel Dubois was confident that he can get in there and beat Wilder. He didn't even know that Frank Warren was in the works of trying to get a fight for him with Wilder. But he said when he found out that he backs Frank's opinion all day long, he's totally confident that he can beat Wilder. Now, me personally, and I've said it before, I think that these kids are still too green. I do think that that's a bit of disrespect. But after seeing Wilder annihilated by Fury and seeing why he was annihilated, we've heard heavyweights say you put the pressure on Wilder, you get in and on, and you can beat him. And so he's confident. What do you guys think? Intangible, you've been quiet. Let's start with you. What you think?
You know, about Wilder and how people see him very vulnerable. Yeah, I mean, I don't really believe all of it. I do think Wilder could still beat a lot of the dudes in the division right now. Of course, he's more vulnerable considering there's a game plan already out for him. There's already a way to beat him. There's already a blueprint. But, I mean, I do think he could beat Dillian White. I do think he beats Ruiz. I do think he beats Joseph Parker. And at this point, I do think he beats Daniel Dubois. I think Daniel Dubois has a lot to work on before he actually reaches a championship level. And I now need to see how he does against Joe Joyce. But I still think he can beat some guys. And I think he's still a top 5 heavyweight.
Yeah, Mark?
I think Daniel Dubois needs to start looking at Joe Joyce a bit more seriously and stop looking fucking past him and saying that he wants Deontay Wilder and he wants this fight and that fight. He needs to take that dude seriously. Otherwise, he ain't getting no fucking fights. He'll get sparked. He needs to be careful. He's stepping up into an actual like world level amateur who's a decent pro, has a win over a good guy in Brian Jennings. You know what I mean? He needs to take that serious. He can't joke around. Whether you agree with the decision against Jennings or not, I don't care. He's got the results. You know what I mean?
Wow.
He needs to take that seriously. If he wants to fight, as for the Wilder thing, boxing fans are extremists. Always have been, always will be. It's always one side or the other. Like, you'll have a guy takes a loss and then your mother could knock him out in a round, you know? But then another dude, like then you take an all-time great from 30 years ago, 40 years past his prime, and he could come back now, today. Like Mike Tyson, 32 years ago, he was in his prime. Apparently today he could come out and become an undisputed champion if you ask certain fans. I mean, it's one extreme or the other. And I love Mike Tyson. He can't do that. Wilder all of a sudden is going to get beat up by every prospect. Right. Like I was hearing people say that Michael Hunter will knock him out in 2 rounds, Povetkin will knock him out in 2 because he's got no chin because Fury knocked him out. Like, Fury is arguably the best heavyweight in the world. It's him or Joshua. And Fury, a lot of people are comparing him to greats, which is also preemptive shit as well because he's got 2 good wins. You know what I mean?
Right.
So for me, it's like Wilder. Do I think people can beat him? I've always thought he's beatable. I think most people have always thought he's beatable. But do I make all of these dudes a favorite over him? No. I make him the favorite in nearly every fight that's being mentioned for him. Against Dubois, he's the favorite. Against White, he is the favorite. Against Ruiz, he would be the favorite. Against Parker, he would be the favorite. They can all beat him. All these guys are capable of beating them. But they're able to beat him. They're also able to beat Joshua. They're capable of it. They're all very good heavyweights. Anyone can lose, but Wilder would be the favorite in pretty much all of those fights, whether people like it or not. And it's not about putting respect on his name. Yes, his resume is slightly overrated, in my opinion. There's a lot of not so good on it, and it's hinged up on a boogeyman. You know what I mean? His resume is hinged up on a boogeyman. That's what it's hinged up on. And a boogeyman means that essentially you're not proven. That's what a boogeyman is someone who can't get fights to prove how good they are.
Right.
So but at the same point, all the mid-tier level fighters who supposedly could beat him got knocked the fuck out. All of them did. So I'm not going to say just because, hey, you got a fucking unmerciful beating. You know, you got an unmerciful beating against Tyson Fury. I'm sorry, but what happens if Tyson Fury does that, if fights like that against Daniel Dubois? He could take his head clean off his shoulders in a round. Because Daniel Dubois hasn't been chin-checked.
Nope.
Even though Wilder had that with Fury, once again, we don't know how powerful Dubois actually is because we haven't seen him against anybody who we know how good their chin is, except Kevin Johnson, who went the distance with him. You know what I mean? But at the same point, if you look at it like from Dubois' side of things, he's probably trying to build his name more. That's probably all it is. But if he were to go in there, what happens if Wilder lands that right hand? How good's his chin? People are like, oh, Wilder has no chin. What happens if Wilder lands a right hand on Dubois, who's never been punched like that? People are like, no, he got hit by Richard Lartey. What? Richard Lartey and Deontay Wilder. Bruh, what happens if Dillian White catches him with a check left hook? Sleep.
I think Povetkin probably has enough power to give the kid trouble. And I'm not even capping, bro. Like, if he hits him clean, Povetkin could probably give the kid trouble because we just don't know. He's not hit by. You look at Povetkin's power and his proven power. Who the fuck has Dubois been hit by even on Povetkin's level to be talking about Wilder or AJ or something?
Yeah, I mean, frankly,
yet.
I'm unsure that Dubois really knows how to handle pressure yet, because who has he really faced that's going to give him the inside work that Povetkin has? I don't even think saying he can beat Povetkin at this point is realistic.
Okay, yeah. Let me respond to this comment right here. Scott Brown, I was agreeing with a lot of the stuff he said up until this point. I don't agree with that at all. Not even a little bit. He says Wilder easily, and the easily is the part that gets me. Wilder easily KOs Hrgovic, Ajagba, Kalnaki, Frank Sanchez, and Martin. I don't say that Wilder easily KO'd anyone with a skill set because he's not easily KO'd anyone with a skill set.
I'm just saying he didn't easily KO Eric Molina. He didn't easily stop the Harper. He didn't easily stop Spielke. He knocked them out, but it wasn't easy. I mean, here, Kovnatsky, like, could he easily knock it? If he lands on him, maybe. But when is he going to land on him? He made easy work of Brazil. He struggled with Spielke. Philip Hrgovic, he could give him problems. He could beat him. Who knows? But like,
Philip Hrgovic can definitely give him fucking.
He definitely could. But at the same time, Wilder, as you know, that goes into the bookies. Wilder's going to be the fucking betting favorite. He's going to be.
He better be. For sure. And I wouldn't have no argument with it because as we just said, Mark, like, you got to stop putting these guys up, more level guys and these prospects up so high considering Wilder just because he got done up by arguably one of the best heavyweights right now. That's basically what they're doing. You got the argument is Fury and Joshua as the best heavyweights, and this is who Wilder got done up by. So how are you guys just going to automatically put everybody else over him?
Here's the thing. Wilder lost to a dude who did something no one else has ever done in the history of the sport. One, Fury, as not only did he end 2 10-plus consecutive title defenses, not only did he do that, he did it on the road. Very few people can do that. He also knows the IBO myself at this stage because I think it's quite a good belt. He's the only person who's held the IBO, the WBO, the IBF, the WBC, the Ring Magazine, and the Lineal Championships in history. And he's one of only a 2-time Ring Magazine heavyweight champion. You need to put a bit more respect onto that. If you say Wilder's going to lose to everyone else because Fury was able to beat the shit out of him, all you're saying is Fury's obviously not that good.
Right.
That's all you're saying. You're discrediting Fury by saying Wilder's trash. Wilder's a good fighter. Like, he's not greatly skilled, but he's a fucking problem. As long as he's active in a fight, he can hurt you or knock you out. He can.
Facts.
Things to have a boxing.
Monster in the building. What's up with your boxing monster? Appreciate you coming through. Wilder fanboys are the worst, no doubt. YC Rahman said Wilder's probe-like jab is useful. If he just threatened without his jab, he could be so much more dangerous. Wilder, if he took anything seriously in his craft, he could have been so much more dangerous. Just so many things. He come out and say himself, I don't have to worry about skill. I got something that no other man. So when you have that attitude, you kind of burying yourself in this game, bro.
I'll tell you this. If you were to, a lot of people, when they ask me, what can Wilder do to improve? What can they do? They start talking about his jab, his feet, all these other things, setting up different shots. I'll tell you one fundamental: if Wilder had have improved, that he would have been 10 times better. He would have been near impossible to beat. Balance. If he improved his balance, he'd be fucking way more dangerous. If he was able to keep his fucking weight distributed properly, he'd be fucking hard to beat because his timing would be better too. There'd be less extension. There'd just be so many things that improve just off of balance.
Facts. Jacko Davis says, Scott Brown, when has Ruiz ever been in shape? Jacko Davis, I want to respond like this about that statement. Let's not look at this guy's body type and assume that he was not in shape in any of these fights. Because if we look at his body type, then you may assume that this guy ain't even in shape for a fight, okay? Andy Ruiz was actually in shape for plenty of fights. His body type didn't display that, but what he did in the ring, look at the Parker fight. You think a fat boy like that gonna go 12 rounds if he's not in shape?
In that type of fight where there was quite a lot of punches thrown like that and quite a lot landed.
So real quick, Mark. I'm not gonna question if he's ever come to a fight in shape. The first Joshua fight, he came in shape. That's just my opinion on that. What you guys think about that?
I'll say this, right? Andy Ruiz, when he fought Joseph Parker, right? How many shots were thrown to avoid the movement, everything like that, right? He looked completely fucking obese, right? Anthony Joshua versus Dillian White, he was gassed in 3 rounds. He was gassed. Who looks in shape? Joshua looks in fucking tremendous shape. Ruiz looks in shit shape. Tony Bellew said, yeah, I'm a fat boy, but I'm in fighting shape. The ability to be able to fight and be able to use all things. That comes down to mental, breathing. There's a lot of things that go into fighting shape. It's not as simple as just looking good. Do you know what I mean? There's guys out there with abs who can't do a jog for more than 10 minutes, but they do 1 million sit-ups a day.
Yeah. My man Samuel Shaw in the building. What's up, Samuel Shaw? Mark, another Mark. Mark Wunderlich stepped in the building. What's up, Mark? He said, yeah, brother, I usually rate your work, but who is this clown you got in today? Uh-oh. Now, Mark, let me do this first, Mark. I'm going to first do this. Now, I just dropped the link. Now, Mark, you can click that link and come up here and tell us which clown you're talking about, because I think you got another thing coming. Call it either one of these guys clowns. But second comment, and Mark, I will let you, Mark Unrivaled, I'll let you respond to this. South Corey says, I don't agree with Mark. I wouldn't have Wilder as a favor over anyone he mentioned. And it's not because of the loss. Wilder was untested until Fury, and I got responsible for that, but I'm pretty sure Mark Unrivaled will clean it up. How do you respond to that, Unrivaled?
Everyone else that you've named, who the hell have they beat? Who the hell have they beat? Like, who've they beat?
Yeah.
I don't get that at all. He's untested, but Daniel Dubois, who fought against the dude whose best who got knocked out, like Fujimoto, that's his last opponent, right? His best win is over a guy who got knocked out by Golovkin in 2 rounds, and he went the distance with him. I mean, it's a bit different to they're not great opponents, and I never they were. Make favorites in all.
You're breaking up a bit, Mark. You're breaking up a bit, bro.
Ah, shit.
Just if you want to, just go out and come back in. I'll let you back in, though. You know that.
Honestly, I'd probably say that Dubois' best opponent is probably Gorman. Because, I mean, at least that was seen as a competitive fight going into it by a lot of people. And Gorman had boxing skills, and he was one of the main contenders for the British belts.
Yeah. Easily. I don't know, man. It's just like I said, like, I'm going to give Wilder all the heat that he deserves. Martin Ramos in the building, the best body doesn't always translate to the best fighter. Ain't that the truth, Martin Ramos? There's been a lot of guys that like a physical specimen and get their ass whooped. So you
may not have the greatest body type or body shape, but that isn't representative of conditioning at all.
Steven Schneider said Wilder is ass juice, though. Good one. I buy houses. My man Joe in the building. What's good? I buy houses. Appreciate you coming through, fam. Martin Machine says Wilder doesn't have a jab.
I disagree with that.
Before Fury, he got a bit of a jab.
Yeah, he's got a good jab. I don't think he actually uses it enough.
A jab that you're gonna be afraid of, or a compelling jab that's gonna change a fight.
Yeah. It's not. He doesn't have
jab that works for him.
He doesn't really have a versatile jab. He doesn't use it for a lot of things, but he's very good at being able to sort of blind you and keep it up at your guard.
Yeah,
sort of feint you, even to the body and to the head a little bit. I mean, if you watch the Stavern fight, it showed up in that fight. The Ortiz fights. I mean, he was pretty much just using a probing jab the entire fight, and he set up the Brazil knockout with a blinding jab.
Yeah. Wilder is undefeated versus PBC fighters, facts, but they ain't really got a lot of PBC fighters that's threatening. So, but yeah, he is. That is a fact. Wilder needs a left hook, back foot counter punch, or right. Yeah, right. Well, see, if he had all of that, we wouldn't even be talking about him the way we're talking about him. But yeah, that would be great if that motherfucker had all of that. If Wilder had those things in his tool bag, Wasi, I think, for one, he would have a whole lot more fans, and the argument would be a lot less about who's the best. It would probably be just 2 guys. I don't think, to be honest, it would really be hard, and even though he's my guy, it would really be hard to put Fury in that conversation. It would most likely be Wilder and AJ as 1 or 2, because if Wilder had those tools in his bag, I'm not sure if Fury would have been able to get through that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, if he had all of that, that motherfucker would be devastating for sure. I can't disagree with that. Nick Harmer, what's up? D. Jefferson the Tangible, appreciate you. My man Black Horseman up in the building. What's good, D. Jeff? Speak your mind. Sports Talk Black. Appreciate you coming through, fam. Let me see where we at. Raider from LA says Wilder needs to work on multiple things to win the rematch and needs a game plan for a change. That's a fact. And one thing about it is he also needs a fight or 2 to implement that. And he doesn't have that.
Well, actually, I actually do think Wilder came into the fight with a game plan. I mean, if you look at like the first maybe 20 seconds of the fight, he was actually trying to use sort of a more powerful jab. He was sort of committing to his jab a bit more, and he went to the body a few times. I think he was doing that to maybe try to wear down Fury to the body, go to the body enough, maybe try to expose the deficiencies in Fury's stamina, which was shown in the Wallen fight. Maybe that's something he tried to do, or maybe he could vary it up and then throw the right hand to follow it up. But as soon as Tyson Fury showed that, well, he's a lot more polished, and then he started landing shots in that first round, as soon as Fury caught up to what Wilder was doing, Wilder had no choice but to revert back to what he was doing before, because Wilder just, I mean, you need a lot more than just one fight to work on those different skill sets.
Exactly.
I mean, if you try to learn something within the first 3 months, as soon as your opponent catches up to what you're doing and what you're trying to do, you're going to go back to what you originally did.
Yeah, it's just gonna habitually that's gonna happen. Wasi says that Wilder can still learn. I believe in it. I believe in it too. It's never too late to teach an old dog new tricks. Wasi, I'm with that. But just as Intangible said, and as I've been saying time and time again, he's gonna need 1 or 2 fights to implement those new things. Wasi, ain't no fucking way he's gonna get some new things, take it to training camp, then come back, implement them in the next fight with Fury and win. That's like unlikely, bro, because these are things that he has not been doing his entire career. To me, people are like, that's not even in the realm of possibility, in my opinion, which anything's possible. But to me, that seems, let's say, highly improbable that he will be able to implement the multitude of things he needs to implement before he fights Fury next. Like, he would need to practice those, and doing it in sparring ain't going to be enough, because he would need to practice those, but practice those against a higher level opponent. And any of these fuckers he sparred with ain't nowhere close to Fury's level. And that's a fact. So I don't really see much that Wilder can do in the time that he has between now and when he fights Fury to pull through on that fight. I just don't see it. Boxing Monster said, nah, Williams is not the best. But I've had this shit before. Smoking weed will get you try all fast. Hey, man, Monster coming out of left field. That's dumb. Martin Ramos, I ain't reading your comment. He just stepped up on here. Hold on, Martin. What's up, Martin? Let me get to the chat, make sure. Actual facts. Angel Santos stepped in the building. Good afternoon, people of the UGC and NBC and all in between. No doubt. What's up, Angel? Appreciate you coming up. All right, guys, I'm going to scroll this on down. I just want to make sure I ain't miss anybody stepping up in the building. I know I skipped some of y'all comments, but what's up, Martin Ramos? What's good with you, fam?
What's up? What's up, what's up, my man? What's his name? Intangible?
Intangible, yeah. So what you got, Martin? I know you heard the discussion. You want to come up here and spit your piece. What you got, dog?
Yeah, I disagree with Intangible when he says Wilder has a good jab. I have to disagree.
No, hold on now.
He doesn't. He say he had it.
Real quick, before you go further, let me say this, because sometimes we hear things and take it out of context. What he says is he has a jab. He didn't say he has a good jab. He says he has a jab.
Yeah, I was responding to what Mar the Machine said. He said that Wilder doesn't have a jab, which I don't think is true.
Right.
What do you think on it?
But you did say he has a good jab.
Well, if you're
that's why I wrote in the comment he has a jab. Is not a good one. He uses it as a range finder.
All right.
As a range finder.
I think his meaning, because once he broke it down, and I'm not trying to defend Intangible here, but I just kind of take things that people say in the context that they say it with. Okay, so I may be wrong on that, and I stand corrected. Maybe he said a good jab, but when he broke it down, he's basically just describing how Wilder has a jab. We can't say he doesn't have any jab.
He just puts
I said basically that Wilder doesn't really have a great like stiff jab. He doesn't really have a power jab at all, but he has a good probing jab. His probing jab is effective because it's able to blind your opponent, and he's able to put it in your guard and sort of separate it. And he's also able to use it very quickly and blind you, like I said, and have you not know when the right hand is coming.
Yeah, I was typing to put this in the chat, but since you finished, let me respond to this nigga real quick. Charles says, D, you always hear things and take it out of context. Well, you goddamn right, Samuel, especially when you say it. No, but Samuel, if you improve your listening skills, so that's why I said sometimes we always take things me and you, fucker. Just like when we took out of context when I said about Virgil Ortiz beating Spence. What happened, Samuel? Well, 54% of the people agree with me. Negro.
This is you got to understand something. Marlon Machine basically said that his jab isn't effective. Would the Dominic Brazil, and I understand Dominic Brazil is not a high level fighter, but would the Dominic Brazil knockout have happened without that jab? If he just completely just telegraphed his right hand and didn't have anything before that to disguise it?
Yeah. Guys, look, let's clear this up because I don't want to really go back and forth about this too much. I'm going to break this down in as far as, what I consider my field of expertise. What fucking happens in that ring, okay? Listen, a pawing jab is not anything that's going to hurt a guy. It's not anything that's going to push a guy back. It's just a pawing jab. It's used to gauge distance, to somewhat confuse your opponent, and to keep your opponent thinking. A simple pawing jab is extremely effective. Wilder does have a pawing jab. So, let's not even keep this thing up about Wilder's jab. He doesn't have a great jab. He's not Tommy Hearns or fucking Kovalev or Larry Holmes or anything, Lennox Lewis. No, he doesn't have that, but he has a jab. So let's kill that and move on because I don't think Wilder's jab is even the full problem. That motherfucker needs a whole lot of work. And the jab ain't going to solve all his problems. So I don't really think we need to go into Wilder's jab too much.
Well, if he had another shot in his arsenal, that would help a lot because at least opponents would have another thing they'd have to look for and see as a threat.
Yeah, it would help intangible. But what I'm saying is I have to say this. A jab is not the end all be all. The motherfucker needs a lot more. A lot more.
Right.
The jab would help him, a lot. Yes. That shit ain't going to change everything. That motherfucker's footwork is bad. We talked about his balance. He gets flustered and start windmilling. He backs straight up on the defense. He can't take it to the body. He doesn't utilize body punching enough. The list goes on and on. So we ain't going to say, oh, give him a jab. He kills everybody. Let's not even get into that shit. His jab is important, but it's not enough for us to have a 2-hour discussion on Wilder's jab. So fuck Wilder's jab. Fuck Deontay Wilder and his fans. And he's going to get his ass beat in the trilogy. Now let's get back to Dan Dubois.
D, can I say?
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
I know you don't want to talk about it no more, but I'm just gonna say this. The thing is, he can't box. And say in boxing, the first punch that you're supposed to learn how to throw is a jab, and the fact that he doesn't know how to throw a jab, that's why we're talking about his jab. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Let's leave that alone.
Okay. Now let me respond to this goddamn boxing monster. How you gonna try to use my words on me, motherfucker? So, boxing monster, you idiot.
I think he's talking to me actually.
Oh, he's talking. Okay. I was getting ready to get you, motherfucker. I'm behind in the chat, so he probably put that in long ago. I thought he was talking to me. After that goddamn great breakdown I just did, monster, don't start with me right now. Butter Bing in the building. What's up, Butter Bing? Said Wilder's okay. He improved the most he could. He is what he is. Yeah, okay. And that I won't argue with. He's okay. He's not the best. He's not what a lot of the Wilder fans made him appear to be, talking about Ali's and carrying on. But he's okay. And, I think actually okay is average to me. I would put him a little above average. Skill-wise, no. But threat in the heavyweight division, yes. Because I don't think we should just start putting guys over him and saying that they're going to beat him. So, yeah, he's okay.
Look, he's not a special heavyweight. He's not this great heavyweight. He's not an ATG like people project him to be, but he's a good heavyweight. You can't just say after one fight that he sucks. He's a solid heavyweight. He's not great. He's not an ATG. He's not even close to the best heavyweight of this generation. He doesn't have the best resume. He doesn't have the best skills, but he is a threat.
Right. Yeah. And Queen Lisa always dropping gems the way she do. Wilder used his job well in the Stavern fight. So I'm not going to argue with that. So, it's just that simple. Ralph Unreal, what's up, Bum Squad? Oh, he said Bomb Squad. I just automatically thought Bum Squad. I think he meant the right Bum Squad. D, salute my brother Edgar. What's up with you, Edgar? All right. Butter King says, in this era, he's elite. But when you compare him to a legend, he's okay. No, sir. That I don't agree with. I don't think that he's elite, Butter Bing. Not even in this era. He's an elite fighter. Listen, I can't call Wilder elite when he's a one-trick pony. And that's a fact.
Well, I think there's only 2 elite heavyweights today, which is Joshua and Fury, because they have the 2 best resumes. They've both beaten elite fighters, and they're both former unified champions. They're the most accomplished in their respective division. I think that they are the 2 fighters to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I think that I agree with you to a certain extent, because one guy is extreme possibility of being at elite status. But I do agree, Joshua Fury, everything you broke down. But I would say after the Chisora fight, I may immediately consider Usyk an elite heavyweight as well, depending on how he looks in that Chisora fight.
Yeah,
I may immediately go there because the tools he already has in that bag. There's only a few questions we need answered at the heavyweight division, and that's basically how he can give and take power. And if those questions are answered, then I automatically put him at elite status because of the skills that he possesses. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But also even Usyk, like, who is he beat? If he were to beat Usyk, I mean, or if he were to beat Chisora,
right?
How would that make him an elite heavyweight? That's a guy who's never been a top 10 heavyweight. That's a guy who's never won a championship. He's never beaten an elite opponent. Right. I mean, as far as skill set goes, well, my opinion on his skill set, I think he has among the best skill sets in the entire heavyweight division. But I mean, as far as maybe even the best, but I mean, he's got to beat somebody at least, somebody in the top 10 to warrant that, or maybe beat Joshua if he gets his Mando shot after the Chisora fight.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, Intangible, because I understand what you're saying, but let me ask you this. Do you consider Terence Crawford elite?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish. Did you consider him elite before he beat Jeff Horn?
Yes.
Okay, I'm giving Usyk the same respect, bro. Yeah, he hasn't won a championship at the heavyweight division yet. That point I agree with. But, dog, he's proven to be elite. He's gone 4 belt undisputed. He's proven his skills at the cruiserweight division. If he can come and get past a guy that is pretty much a gatekeeper, all of those other skills are there. So okay. I'm going to consider him elite.
Well, what I'm saying is both Terence Crawford and Alexander Usyk are elite fighters in terms of, as an overall fighter, in terms of their career and their skill sets. But, I mean, as a welterweight, Terence Crawford isn't really that well established, and nor is Usyk.
But people still consider him elite. When Terence Crawford beat Jose Benavidez, that was enough for people to consider him elite, bro. Even that one, because they already have those skills behind them. So if they can, they don't have to be like these prospects at 147 where they're coming up like the Virgil and the Boots Ennis and beat someone significant to say they're elite, because they pretty much are coming with elite status. If but also over a hump, me personally, this is just my opinion. I would have to give him the credit of being elite, because when you start to go all on resume and who they beat and all of that, that's the disconnect with a lot of sports fans. That has to matter, and you have to account for that. I don't. But also, hold on, Intense. Let me finish, bro. I don't disacknowledge these resumes and the people they fought and the belts that they won. I'm not just throwing that out the window. We have to account for that. But on the same token, you can't just knock out everything that they've done before and not account for that and say, well, now that he's here, he has to do this, and this, just like any other fighter trying to prove themselves in that division that hasn't done anything in their career. I don't think that they have to go that far. And if you put them in that, realm where they have to do the things that these other, I can't judge it like that.
Right, but like I said,
done enough.
But like I said, I mean, did anybody consider Terence Crawford? Did you consider Terence Crawford an elite welterweight before he beat Jeff Horn?
No, I consider him an elite.
Right.
What you talking about before he beat Jeff Horn?
Yes, because he didn't do anything at welterweight to warrant elite status before he beat Jeff Horn.
Okay, the major difference in asking that is Terence Crawford's first fight, if I'm not mistaken, he came in fighting Jeff Horn, correct?
Yes.
So Usyk did get a chance to come right in fighting the champion. So after he beat Jeff Horn, I consider him elite. Because, look, I said that Terrence Crawford still has to fight the top welterweights like Spence and Garcia, and you know what I mean. But Terrence Crawford's skill set, bro. I have never disrespect this dude's skill set and what he can do in the ring. You come up to 147 and you beat a guy like Jeff Horn, that's a champion, that has a belt. Yeah, I consider him elite, an elite fighter, an elite one. Now he has to go beat some of these other top level 147 guys. But if you ask me, do I consider Terrence Crawford elite? Fucking right, bro. He's pound for pound. He's on the pound for pound list. He's fought 4 guys, and these are not taxi drivers or, you know, low-level fighters that he fought. So he's fought 4 guys at the welterweight division. Yeah, I consider him elite.
Okay, here's where I stand generally. Usyk is not elite because he has not fought in a top welterweight or really proven himself against a good welterweight. Terrence Crawford was not elite before he faced Jeff Horn. And if Josh Taylor becomes undisputed and decides to move up to 147, I will not consider him an elite welterweight until he beats somebody good. Because who knows if his skills can actually translate up there. We don't know if Usyk's skills can entirely translate to heavyweights because guys at heavyweight are much, much bigger. The guys at heavyweight are 220 to 260 pounds.
Facts.
I mean, that's a massive disconnect between that and cruiserweight.
Well, intangible. Think back to the beginning of this whole discussion we just having right now. I said when he gets past Chisora. So, and he's actually already had 1 fight at heavyweight. It was insignificant, but he's had 1. But that's why I said when he gets past Chisora, I automatically consider him that would be his 2nd fight at heavyweight. And this is Chisora. And nobody's not going to disagree that Chisora is not a good test for anybody at the heavyweight division. He's considered a gatekeeper. And to me, someone like a Crawford or Usyk, all they have to do is come to that next division and prove themselves against a gatekeeper. That's enough for me because they've done so much more in the past. That's enough for me. They don't have to come up here and take out one of the top guys to be considered an elite fighter, because they have those skills to make them elite. I mean, that's just how I look at it. I just don't think that these guys that are in the realm of a Crawford, Lomachenko when he moved up, Canelo, Usyk, these guys that have already I don't put them in the realm of having to prove as much as other guys. They have to prove the bare minimum, and then I give them the nod. Because they've already done so much. And that's my thing with that. So, okay. You know what I mean?
Also, though,
go ahead.
What if Usyk wins, really unimpressively against what if Usyk wins really unimpressively against Chisora? Let's say it goes down to, a very close decision.
That's the question we need answered, fam.
Yeah.
That's the question we need answered. That's why I said after the Usyk fight, because in that case that you're talking about, he goes in there and he struggles in this tumultuous, not appealing fight. Then fuck no, I'm not going to consider him elite at the heavyweight division. But that's why I said after this Chisora fight, if he goes in there and he wins very comfortably over Chisora, yes, I consider him elite, bro. For sure.
All right, this guy is trying to argue against me. He says, was Holyfield not elite when he moved up to heavyweight? He was an elite fighter, not an elite heavyweight. Okay, if Josh Taylor becomes undisputed, he is an elite fighter. Okay, he's an accomplished fighter. He's a good fighter, but he's not an elite welterweight because he has not fought anybody there. I think resume does matter, and it is a much better way to measure how good a fighter is than skill set, because you cannot measure a skill set. There is no objective way. Skill set is entirely based on opinion.
Yeah. So here we go. This is what Samuel do. Samuel does this shit. He tries to always come back and with this silly shit, right? And he put laughing emojis back there. So at the end of the day, he can say, oh, no. I was just joking. Samuel, let me tell you something, bro. And I love this shit because you like to say that you can pull receipts. Go find the fucking He Knows the Sports video because I ain't going after it. Well, back then, it was more about my guy Spence, bro. And again, you can pull up whatever the fuck you want to pull up, Samuel Shaw. The same as Tank Davis goes the same with Bud Crawford. I have never, ever disrespected or talked down on these guys' skills. Never. So you can put all of that bullshit up there you want to put up there. I ain't never disrespected Bud Crawford's skills, ever. And I said the same thing back then that I'm saying now. He has to prove himself in the welterweight division by fighting one of these upper guys. But is that me saying that he ain't elite? No. So try again, Samuel Shaw, with your bullshit. You know what I mean? And then after a while, leave me alone, D. Jefferson. Fuck now, I ain't gonna leave you alone, nigga. Stop coming at me. You can't click that link. Let me put this link in the chat. This one goes out to Samuel Shaw. Come join the panel. Click that link, Samuel Shaw, out there in Gary, Indiana. Albert Hauser said, I only have 2 elite fighters in this era right now, and that is Manny and Canelo. That's a pretty good thought. I wouldn't really agree with that, but I think because you got to kind of gauge the eras, Albert Houses. If you say 2 elite fighters concerning boxing in total, okay. But generally, we got to stick to the eras because it's unfair to compare fighters in their elite status versus fighters that they've never competed with or won't even have a chance to compete with. So if we say elite considering boxing in general, you may have an argument with that. But when we talk about this era and the level of talent in this era and what these guys can do compared to the guys we're talking about now, then in this era, they're elite. They're absolutely elite. So kind of that type of thing. You know what I mean? You know how it goes. See, Samuel, Ralph from Real Bush gave smoke when he first wanted it. Yeah. A lot of these fighters should have fought guys before they eventually fought on Holyfield was not. Oh, okay, that was the comment you were talking about. Obanoli. All right. Butterbean says saying Deontay is top heavyweight in this era is trolling. Even if he's ranked in top 3, I won't be back by. Okay. Have a good day, sir. You know, I don't understand. Well, I don't know. I don't know actually. Did either of us say that he's top 3? I say he's got to be considered one of the top heavyweights. I don't think that either of us said top 3, but outside of that, you know, Butterbean, I would really ask you to give us guys that you would put over him, and then you would have to explain why. Because the facts of the matter is, and this is what Intangible started with a while ago, what have many of these guys done? A lot of these fucking heavyweights ain't done shit, bro. This is why Povetkin, who is not a champion at all, has a better resume than most of them. And this is Alexander Povetkin. He's not even a champion, Butterbean. So when you say that, saying Wilder, let me go back to the comments. So when you, I guess, get upset and say Deontay Wilder is top heavyweight in this era is trolling, then who else, bro? Don't just get mad because of an opinion and then leave. If you leave, be gone, don't come back. The Speak Your Mind Sports Talk family don't really care about that. But, I mean, tell us why. Don't just get mad and leave. Tell us why not. Because I don't think that you can validate why he wouldn't be. One thing, he has 10 title defenses, regardless of whether who it was against. He has fought a Stavern, a Fury, Luis Ortiz. He has had the WBC championship. So all of these other heavyweights you're talking about, what belts have they captured? Because ain't none of them had the belts besides Fury, Ruiz, Joshua, and Wilder. They ain't had the belts, bro. So, I mean, who are the guys, Butterbean? Who are the guys, my friend? That's all I would like to know. I mean, you know, people hate these boxers to a certain extent that they don't want to, they just want to rob them of all credit. They want to disrespect them. That's what this whole topic is about. Like, you know, Wilder's get no respect, bro. Young fighters are looking at him like a gatekeeper. The main fighters, all of them want a piece of him. They feel like they'll beat the shit out of him. He's getting no respect, none at all. And then we have Butterbean here, which is on the fan side of it, saying that what he's saying is trolling if someone considers why. That's the level of respect that I'm talking about that, you know, Wilder is not getting right now. But I ain't defending Deontay Wilder because that motherfucker and his fan base brought all of this on himself. So, let's not get it twisted like D. Jeff up here defending. Well, fuck Wilder. I said that before and I'll say it again. Fuck Deontay Wilder and his fan base because everything that's going on right now was brought on him by himself. Crying about your legs not being under you because of a 40-pound suit, but you working out in a 45-pound vest. Bullshit excuse. These things are brought on to Wilder by himself. The disrespect, the not studying your craft, getting better as you go along. Now people just think that you're trash because they thought you were trash the whole time and they feel like Fury proved it. So, you know what I mean? That is what it is, bro. That's just how it goes down. Oh, there you go. These two guys, Boxing Boston Samuel, Jean, D, double talking D Jefferson. Y'all too, man. Wilder is unproven because he hasn't beaten a proven name yet. I mean, yeah. Well, guys, this is what we were talking about when Wilder steps up to elite level competition. This is what can happen, and it's happened, and now it's so many perspectives on what this means. I just think that the whole Wilder situation is being overblown on both levels. How great he is and how not great he is. It's being exaggerated both ways. He's being put down way too low. And of course, by his fans, he was being held way too high. And that's what's going on with Wilder right now, in my opinion. I don't, like too much disrespect. I think, on this topic, I think that he's getting too much disrespect. I think it's deserved respect. I'm not defending that, but it's just a little overboard. In my opinion.
Yeah, I think that Wilder could beat everybody besides maybe Fury, Joshua.
Let me address this then, Samuel. See, Samuel Shaw, this is boxing talk. This is not a comedy show, but since you want to be funny, let me go ahead and address it. Since you want to bring the comedy. So Samuel Shaw said, you notice how D. Jefferson never addressed he knows his sports carrying him. Because it's idiotic, dog. And I try to refrain from addressing idiotic, but since you want to put the comment up there, you idiot, I'll address it. Now, when it comes to he knows his sports carrying me, and good God, I wish unbiased or biased boxing talk was in here. Justin Trouble in the building. What's up? Because he would definitely back me on this. When it comes to he knows his sports, carrying D. Jeff. Let's get something out in the open, Samuel Shaw. That motherfucker couldn't carry a goddamn tune when it come to D. Jeff. When I was on that damn show, and for all of the people who were on there back then, know this to be true. Well, when I was on the show with He Knows His Sports, the dude we used to average on that show anywhere from 35 to 55 listeners. All the time, 35. If you go look at He Knows His Shorts with his new partner, Tom Ross now, man, they'll be lucky if they get 30 people listening. So right then and there, debunk Samuel's silliness. Because once I left that show, bro, it started to tank. And he hasn't recovered since. So, that shows who was carrying who. Samuel Shaw, stop your bullshit. And let me put the link in because Samuel Shaw, he playing chat warrior today, guys. Y'all look at Samuel Shaw, he playing Mr. Troll Body today. But there's that link for you, Samuel Shaw, if you would like to come up here and prove how he knows his sports carried me. Because I got plenty more ways to explain how it's not possible. But salute to you, Samuel. Mr. Spooks, I guess he didn't believe what he said. No, Wilder might believe what he says, Mr. Spook, but that's why we call him delusional. Because if you believe that bullshit coming out of your mouth, Wilder, you're fucking delusional. So, Boxing Monster said, D. Jefferson, fuck that casual. Yeah, I know Boxing Monster. Samuel Shaw. You know how he be trying to do, dog. Samuel Shaw, he knows his sport. Birth DJ. And yeah, leave it up to him. That's what he said. That motherfucker said, I made you. You did you? He also said, y'all know his partner, Tom Ross? He said, that's okay. You leaving my show, you're going to learn your lesson. I'm going to show you that I made you. I'm going to make sure Tom Ross is much more successful than you. I'm going to show you my pool on the YouTube community. And Samuel Shaw, he's the kind of guy that believes what he knows his sports was saying. That's why he's backing them now. So shout out to you. He knows his sports and Samuel Shaw. But let me tell you guys this, Samuel Shaw. Tom Ross sitting on about 237 subscribers. We were close back then when he knows his sports said that dumb shit. I think I got 1,170. So how'd that work out for you and he knows his sports? Samuel Shaw. You guys are funny, man. Stop it. I got plenty for you, Samuel Shaw. Leave that shit alone, because that dude couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat, nigga. You got me fucked up. All right, so Abba Howler said, D, put some respect on Tom Ross' name. It's the world famous Tom Ross. Yeah, the world famous racist. That dude is real racist, dog. Yeah. All right, so intangible. Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, it was a comment. I can't remember who put it in there, but I wanted to get on this topic. I told him I promised I'd get back to this topic, so let's talk about it. It was the IBO mandatory. You was in here, Intangible. They were talking about Anthony Joshua. You have to give up one of those belts because it's I think Usyk was the mandatory for the WBO. What do you say to this? Because he's talking about Povetkin and then Fury next, but then it wouldn't be for 4-belt undisputed. What do you say to that?
In terms of giving up the IBO belt with Anthony Joshua, I looked this up, and the number one ranked to Anthony Joshua's WBO belt is Alexander Usyk.
Right.
So if he beats Alexander Usyk, he's taking care of two mandatories, even though the IBO is an unofficial belt, of course. And he has about two mandatories he needs to take care of. He needs to take care of Pulev, which is going to be next, very likely. And then he'll probably take care of Usyk afterwards, once Usyk very likely beats Chisora. I don't really think he's going to have to give up any type of belt. Although I will be honest, there was like this deadline, this like 100-day deadline given out in January by the WBO to fight Usyk, and very likely he's going to have to fight Kubrat Pulev as an alternative. And I think he's going to be more willing to give up the WBO belt and then fight Usyk after Usyk wins the WBO belt if it were to go vacant. Because I think that the IBF is going to be more valuable to him since the IBF enforces mandatories more. And also, he's going to hold on to the belt that he originally won. So if there were to be a belt that he gets rid of, which I don't necessarily quite think so, but if he had to give up a belt, I think it will likely be the WBO belt.
Right. Well, here's what I think about it. Between Matchroom, DAZN, they got too much money to let this 4-belt undisputed slide. And these guys, like, even Usyk, listen, man, somebody's going to take some step aside money. And that's just how I look at this. Now, of course, we know that you got these mandatories and stripping of the belt, but let's be perfectly honest, guys, when it comes to that. No one fucking enforces stripping belts but the IBF. That's why he's fighting Povetkin. Right. This is why he's fighting Povetkin. He's getting the sanctioning body that actually enforces stripping of the belt. He's getting that out of the way. Let's pay attention, people. He's getting that out of the way. This is the sanctioning body that says, we'll strip your ass. And guess what? They'll strip your ass. The rest of them, have they been known to uphold stripping belts? No, they haven't been known to do that. So we can talk about the mandatory and him getting stripped, but guys, that's just going to be that. They're going to get around that. This is the biggest fight in this known era right now. 4-belt undisputed for the heavyweight division. Not to mention that it will probably be Britain versus Britain, Fury versus Joshua. No fucking way they're letting that slide through the cracks, bro. They're not. The money will be offered to step aside. So, and then, what faith do you really have that any of these sanctioning bodies, not being the IBF, is really going to strip a belt? Like, this is not what we're seeing, right? So, Why would we put too much into that?
Let's just be honest. I do think that Fury versus AJ could actually be next, because I think Pulev stated that, or Bob Arum, whatever one of the two, stated they were willing to take step aside money.
Well, I'll talk about that. So this is exactly what Alexander Pulev said. Alexander Pulev said that
Kubrat Pulev, you mean?
I mean Kubrat, yeah, Alexander, all of these fucking foreign guys. Kubrat Pulev said, you're right, Kubrat Pulev said this. He said that he feels like he has what it takes to get in there and beat Anthony Joshua. I do not agree. I think Anthony Joshua stops him. He said he's looking forward to the fight against Anthony Joshua. He said, but the simple fact is they've not even approached him about step aside money. He said if he was approached about step aside money, he understands the magnitude of 4-belt undisputed. He said if it's interesting enough, then maybe he will consider it. This is what Kubrat Pulev said himself. So basically what he's saying is they ain't talked to him yet about any step aside money. And it makes sense, because what would be first? To see if Wilder's going to step aside. Why would they even approach Pulev when Wilder and his camps talk about fuck step aside money, and all of that pride is coming out, and they're saying that the trilogy is going to happen? Why would they even entertain offering Pulev any step aside money? But Pulev said they haven't even offered it to him. If the offer comes and it's reasonable, then he said he would consider it. So
yeah, I do think Pulev would be pretty willing to take it, because let's be honest, if they get 4-belt undisputed, that means that he'll probably be in that position.
All right, bro. Thanks, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, that means he'll likely be in the position to challenge for 4-belt undisputed. And that'd be an even bigger prize than, of course, 3 belts, right?
Yeah, that's a fact. LaRon in the building. What's good with you, LaRon? Toby says Samuel Odell have to start a new channel like Eddie Hearn. D out of context, Jefferson. Yeah, Samuel, why don't you crank your channel up? You can get a lot of views. This is D out of context, Jefferson.
No context, Hearn, that Twitter account, bro.
Yeah. Wilder is more disrespectful than AJ. To this day, Joshua has gotten no credit for. South Korea wasn't really a comparison. Is Wilder disrespected more than AJ? I wasn't really making that comparison. At both levels, these guys are disrespected. I've actually put plenty of videos up, South Korea, defending Anthony Joshua and how he's been disrespected. So I don't disagree with you, but I wasn't really comparing the two. Hadn't really thought about that comparison, who's more disrespected. But AJ's gotten a lot of disrespect and discredit and the things that he's accomplished and done. And I've actually done a couple of videos about that. So, I have no quarrels about that, South Korea. Timmy Nealon in the building. What's good, Timmy Nealon? He says, anyone see this video sporting icons on the return of boxing, BBO, FC, crazy? Haven't seen it. Put the link in the chat, Timmy Nealon. I'll check that out. Toby Bartlett says facts. Yeah, I don't argue with what he was saying, Toby Bartlett. Again, that wasn't even really a part of the topic. I don't really look at the comparison of which one of those two guys are more disrespected or anything like that. Joshua's been disrespected, extremely disrespected at many levels, especially after the loss to Andy Ruiz. All of the people questioning him and, his heart and if he's really a true champ and all of that bullshit, which I debunked all of that stuff back then too. So, yeah. Salute Toby Bartlett. No title fights anytime soon. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I do think it's possible that fighting with no fans could come to fruition. Most likely internationally, but it will come to fruition likely within 2 or 3 months, I think. But I do think internationally that'll be the case, because I don't think it'll get to a level in the U.S. where that would be a safe option, right?
Yeah. Toby said. Oh, well, go ahead. I thought you said.
So hopefully we get a Kazuto Ioka tune-up in July. Let's get it.
Tony Yoka?
Kazuto Ioka.
Oh, I thought you said Tony Yoka tune-up. I was like, Tony Yoka ain't no damn tune-up, bro. Tony Yoka could cause some problems.
Tony Yoka been getting tune-ups his entire career, and he was supposed to fight Christian Hammer. until I don't know what happened. But
do better with Yoka. They really need to do better with him. Wilder. Toby Barlett says Wilder could have implemented the rematch clause just to see what step aside money he could get, grab and retire. I thought about that kind of, Toby, but I don't really think that's the situation. Not just to retire off of step aside money. And I'll tell you why, Toby Barlett. When you're talking about the money of these heavyweights, it's the most popular division, and so many people want to see Wilder lose over and over again, if necessary. Having some fights, doing a trilogy fight, or if he took the step aside money, which I said this before, if he took the step aside money and had them write it in that no matter what, he gets the winner, no rematch between them, he gets the winner of that fight, that would be something that I would agree with you on, but it would be in contingency of taking the step aside money and then having them write in that he's guaranteed the winner.
Yeah.
That would be something to go out of the door on. But just going out of the door, retiring for step aside money, like when he already has enough stock to get way more money than that to go out of the door, I don't think it would have been as simple just to see as how much step aside money can I get? Let me take that and run. Nah, bro. And then he has way too much pride for that. Okay, again, remember, I say he's delusional because the motherfucker thinks that he can go in there and beat Fury again. That's delusion. And his pride is telling him, I can't just walk away from this trilogy fight. I can't be a bitch like that. I got to take this fight, right? Pride is kicking in too. Stock, pride, I think all goes against him just retiring off of step aside money. He'll get his ass whooped and get, double-digit millions before he just takes 7-8 million step aside money and quit. I don't think that happens. Samuel Shaw says, D. Jefferson, I have the channel thing. I know he said, I'll leave the channel thing to you, fam. And you do a great job, man. I appreciate you, Samuel. Yeah, you need to come on these lives with me, dog. Or stop fucking trolling me and come talk to us. Joshua gets no credit because of hate. Yep. Wilder gets no credit because he sucks.
I actually do. No credit. I think Joshua does get his just due for the most part. I think a lot of guys discredit him. Of course, the Wilder can't, but I think most people give Anthony Joshua his fair share of credit.
Yeah, but I think both of them get disrespected and lack of credit because of hate. A lot of people hate Wilder. Listen, they hate the way PBC and the WBC was protecting him. They hate the fact that he never attempted to unify, but he was talking all of this shit. They hate the fact that he kept winning, even though you could visibly see he wasn't the most skilled fighter. There's a lot of reasons to hate Deontay Wilder. And that's why I'm saying that I believe he's being too disrespected. He's being disrespected too much. And it stems from hate. It stems from hate just the same. Again, I ain't even going to start on the comparison of who was disrespected more and why. I'm not getting into all of that. But these guys have both been disrespected at certain levels, and it all falls down to the hate. That's just how I see it. You know what I mean? Like, I know how I do. I call it like I see it, bro. I don't like Wilder no more than the next man, but and not Wilder personally. I don't really have anything against Wilder. I just don't like his career path, the way they were ducking fights and, all of the bullshit narratives and such. I can't appreciate that, and I can't back that kind of stuff. So, but at the end of the day, both of these guys were disrespected because of hate. So, oh shit, feedback. But anyway, so Tangible fell off. LeBron says, good point, D. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that. So Shizbiz says, Wilder saying you don't need boxing skill. Yeah, I remember that. And that's what makes him a fool. You know what I mean? Because you got proven wrong, Wilder. You got proven dead ass wrong. You need boxing skills in the sport of boxing. You idiot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that's why Wilder is where he is now, guys, because he never took that seriously. He never obtained those boxing skills that he so very much needed. He needed those boxing skills. You can't just rely. you're not gonna, no fighter, I don't care who it is, no fighter is going to maintain top level by being a one-trick pony. It's not. It's too many things involved in the sport of boxing and the sweet science, too many things that you have to know to rely on one trick and think that you're going to reign at the top or be amongst the best fighters. That shit is going to get exposed, especially when you take a path like Deontay Wilder and some of these other fighters have taken. When you take the path, when you take the path of these fighters that fight these low-level fighters and you know, these taxi drivers, as they call them, and they're knocking these guys out and they're getting impressive wins, but they don't take the time to fight higher level competition and hone their skills, you're going to get exposed. You're going to get in there with a guy that can really fight, that can keep you at bay, that can nullify your one trick, because your one trick is all they have to get around. So if they can find a way, they can utilize their skill set of the sweet science to nullify that one trick, you're going to get beat over and over and over again. And that's where Wilder is now. He's gotten to the point where he didn't hone those skills. He relied on that one trick. And just as my man Shizbin said, I don't need skills because I got something no man has. Well, you idiot. Wilder, you idiot. You did need skills. You did need those skills. And getting your ass obliterated by Tyson Fury is showing that you needed those skills. That's just how it is. All right, my man K. Harvey stepped in the building. That's my brother from the same mother. What's up, K. Harvey? He said, what's up, D and family? Appreciate you coming through, bro. So, let's see here. Sorry, guys. I had to run upstairs right quick. All right. So, Toby says, I love to see little ass D Jeff look up at Deontay Wilder and say, you idiot. Dog, that would be hilarious, Toby. You know what? Let me tell you something about D Jeff. Little D Jeff would look right up at Deontay Wilder and say, you idiot. Trust and believe it. I would. I'm not, listen, I ain't afraid of no man. And he's a fighter. And if for some reason I looked up at that big dude and he said, and I say, you idiot. And let's say Wilder punched me and knocked me clean the fuck out. Because if he punched me, I ain't never been knocked out before. Been in a lot of fights, but I'm pretty sure that he would knock me clean the fuck out. And if that happened, as long as I got up from that knockout, so be it. I'll be happy because I'll sue the hell out of his ass and be pissed. So guess what? If I seen Wilder face to face, I would look up at him and say, Wilder, you should have did this, this, and this, you idiot. And I would record it for all of you guys, and I would give you your wish, Toby. That's for sure, dog. Yeah, but hey, man, if you're an idiot sometimes, then somebody needs to let you know you're an idiot. And if y'all catch me being an idiot, just say, D, chill out, you idiot. And then I'll take notice. Willie Williams in the building. What's good, Willie Williams? Appreciate you. Shizbit says, Wilder been sparring bums since he got this title. Hey, man, you know, Shizbit, I ain't going to argue with that. And I just spoke on that earlier within this live. I'm like, bro, you know, when we were talking about what Wilder needs to do to get over this Fury hump, right? I was saying then that, you know, Wilder, the guys that he's sparring, the guys that he's traditionally sparring, they can't get him prepared for Fury. And he definitely needs a fight or two to implement the new skills that it's gonna take to beat Fury. So I agree with you on that. What's up, Iron Kong?
Brother D, how it is, man?
You know, just talking this boxing, brethren. How you doing today?
Easy, man. I hear you on my guy, Deontay Wilder, man. Deontay Wilder about to be a 2-time WBC champ. Don't worry about it, man.
Know what you think? That's what you think? Break it down for me, Iron Kong.
Man, Man, Deontay Wilder about to do shit, man. Get the fuck out of here. What can I say, man? Look, everything you saying is real, right?
Right.
But you gotta understand, like people like me, I always tell people, I remind them, I started off a Deontay Wilder fan.
Me
and
too.
a lot of the hate he gets is from people like me, who, like, I know my guy Get This Smoke is probably in the background listening, because you know, that's Bomb Squad International spokesperson. But he always said, why can't we appreciate Deontay Wilder for who he is and what he does? And my thing is, no, why? There's certain things that are true about boxing tradition that we expect from combat sports athletes to do, which is fight the best competition available, in boxing in particular, unify your belts. You know what I'm saying? Those are things that we expect boxers to do.
Right.
I am not going to give Deontay Wilder a pass just because he's Deontay Wilder. He's not a baby. I hold him to the same standards as anybody else, which is why I had to come around eventually to being an Anthony Joshua fan, because it's like, I can't watch what this man is actually doing, where he's doing the things that we say, you know, you're supposed to do in boxing. I'm not going to give Deontay Wilder a pass. I started disliking Deontay Wilder's character, because it's like, okay, you're not doing those things, but you talk so much shit, right? You talk so much shit about people who are actually going out there trying to do the things you say you're going to do. And I don't appreciate bad character in my sport as sporting athlete, especially when you're trying to shit on people who are actually doing great things. You know what I'm saying? That highlight I did with Anthony Joshua, right? If you listen to the end of the highlight, I purposely left in Deontay Wilder's voice when Adam Smith asked him, so what's up? You know, next summer we're going to do another 90,000 at Wembley. Deontay Wilder, even then, seeing Anthony Joshua becoming a unified champion in 19 fights, says, well, you know, even this fight is supposed to be Wilder versus Joshua, meaning he still wants top billing over Anthony Joshua, even then. So he just watched the man do something great, but still putting himself in front of Anthony Joshua.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Delusion, D.
I was talking about.
And I can't give that a pass. And I started disliking his character, because you can't be shitting on people who are actually doing the things you say you want to do when you have had every opportunity to do so. I don't like that shit. And Deontay Wilder about to get beat down again in his third fight. Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, bro, I feel you, and you know, coincidentally, I too was a fan. You know, I was a fan of plenty of PBC fighters, and I kind of slid away from them. I'm down to one really now, and well, two: Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo kind of won me back over. You know what I mean? I just wanted him to achieve, you know, and stop fucking around. And bro, after the rematch with Harrison and the fact that he's going after nothing but those other champions, he wants to unify. That's enough for me. That's what I wanted to see him do, and he's doing it. So Jermell has, I will admit that Jermell has won me back because my only complaint was that he wasn't achieving or attempting to achieve, and it appears that he's trying to do that. And Errol Spence, I never gave up on Spence. You know what I mean? Me personally, I never gave up on the guy. I just said that he needed to change and do some things, but you know how that goes.
Yeah.
So since you are in here, Iron Cone, have you heard of Dylan Price?
I have not heard of him. No, I have not. Tell me about him.
I was just getting ready to get your idea on it, but go check him out. You know, but he and his father, they were previously with Mayweather Mayweather Promotions, and decided not to re-sign with them and go their own way. And Dylan Price is a really good-looking young prospect, and I think that they made a great move. They're not going to sign with any of the other majors right now, but he did say that he's done with Mayweather Promotions, and I think that was a good thing.
Well, I don't see anybody Mayweather Promotions is doing actually any great things for. I mean, all these people with Mayweather Promotions are underachievers, every single one of them. The only person that ever did anything great on the Mayweather Promotions was Mayweather. Who on the Mayweather Promotions is doing shit?
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think it's a good move. So, are they gonna do like what's my guy's name?
Devin Haney?
Boots. No, Boots. Oh. Whereas Boots is not signed with any. Is Boots signed with any big promotions, or just him?
No, he's not. He's not signed with any of the majors, and yeah, that is the path that he's going to take. And Unrivaled was on here earlier, and we were talking about how that's pretty much a dangerous path in this sport because the majors pretty much control this, and you run the risk of not getting any significant fights. And speaking of Boots Ennis, when you look at Boots Ennis and compare him to this young prospect, Dylan Price, you know, Boots Ennis is 15 fights further in than Dylan Price, and basically they're not known. I mean, Dylan Price has an even worse situation than Boots Ennis because he's a smaller guy. He's one of these little guys, bantamweight.
Right. No, well,
promote and get these guys out there anyway. And so what Unrivaled was saying is that he should really just jump on the Eddie Hearn offer because they were offered a deal by Eddie Hearn, but his father and his partner has their own promotional company, B&B Promotions, and they said they wanted to just put the kid under that label and get him up to like 16-0 and then entertain offers from one of the majors because they didn't like the numbers that Eddie Hearn was offering. But Mark made the point that, listen, if you get in there with Hearn, his name alone will get your kid noticed, and you'll get into some fights, and you'll probably have more of a stock once you reach 16 by signing with Hearn now than if you go and try to do it on your own because you're not going to be privy to the fighters with names because the majors have them locked down. So that was kind of a dilemma in the situation.
What I would say about that is that Eddie Hearn, as you said, Eddie Hearn's name adds a lot to you. And I have not heard a fighter yet. I haven't heard it. You know, y'all might be able to tell me that has complained about Eddie. Eddie seems to do what the fuck he say he gonna do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Eddie Hearn does a good job at trying to market his people, get them on. Matchroom in general has, to me, a superior social media presence. They have a superior production team in terms of that. So. Right. You know, if you're gonna like do your whole 16 fights under independent label, I mean banner, where you want to get them up to that, you're still not gonna be known. So you're still not gonna be valuable to Eddie Hearn. You're not gonna be valuable to him because you're still not known. You know, you're not on no big banner.
Real quick, Iron Cone, let me shout out a couple of people stepped in. I fell behind in the chat. L in the building. What's up with you, L? How can you respect the champion who tested positive for steroids? And then my man, Johnny Boy, what's up with you, fam? Big ups to D. You got to run, bro. Just came to say salute. I appreciate you, Johnny Boy. Johnny Boy says, hit that like, drop the kid a super chat. Salute to the chat as well. God bless y'all. Thanks, Johnny Boy. All right, go ahead, Icon.
No, I'm saying, like, you know, even after 16 fights on their independent banner, you're not going to be any more valuable to Eddie Hearn still because you're still not big. He still has to do the same work to get you known than he had to do now because he still has to get you known. You know, you know, you're not going to have no TV deals. You're not going to have none of that.
Right.
So it's not like, you know, Eddie Hearn has something to work with. He don't have nothing to work with. You know? So, I mean, if they want to gamble and roll the dice, at the very least, Devin Haney had some play coming off of because he used to box on Showtime. You know, he was around Mayweather. So he had some level of, you know, cachet to it.
Right.
I don't know this kid. I don't know what he was doing before, where he was boxing before. But, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think if Eddie Hearn is there, you work with Eddie. Let Eddie work with you. You could sign something short if you want and say, look, man, you know, work with me here. Like, you see guys like Mark Castro, who had I guess a big amateur career, right?
Right.
And then dudes was like, yeah, I wanted to sign with Eddie Hearn. Like they didn't, you know,
or 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 what else too? John Cable in the building. What's up, D? What's up, Iron Cone? What's up, everybody? Didn't get a notification. That's all right, John Cable. Nobody is. I put a whole bunch of. I shared the video to a lot of different places before I started. That's what I guess we got to start doing. But I appreciate you, John Cable. But Iron Cone. Another thing he can do is they can do what Devin Haney did. Devin Haney kept his promotional, and they did like a joint partnership, which would still give you that notoriety. He said that they're still under both banners, but they let Hearn set the thing up, and they let, you know what I mean? That type of stuff. What's up, Bill? Bill's out in the wilderness. What's up, Bill? Can you hear us?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
What's good with you, fam?
Nothing much. We talking boxing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We talking this new prospect, Dylan Price, that left the Mayweather Promotions, and how that was a good thing. We talking how Wilder gets no respect. People are beginning to disrespect him too much, in my opinion. And then, and some people, he deserves it, and he's getting what he deserves. So that type of stuff.
Gotcha. I gotta ask you a question. When do you think boxing's coming back?
Oh, okay. Good question. Well, in my opinion, Bill, I don't believe that we're going to get boxing back until late to mid fall, or potentially the beginning of next year.
Okay. They got the UFC card this weekend. Did you hear Bob Arum? He was criticizing it. He said, "Oh, it's not a good look, and could be bad for sports, this and that." What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll give you my thought. Bob Arum, if you notice him historically, he has never been one to give praise to what any other promotional company in general is doing. None of their fighters, what they're doing. He always kind of throws a little shade at those guys. I disagree with Bob Arum totally, because I've been on record saying that let's root for Dana White. Let's pay for UFC 249, because this could actually give us an avenue to bring boxing back, because it's a combat sport. So if he can pull this off, they may be able to emulate whatever it is White is doing and bring us boxing back. You know what I mean? So I don't really agree with that. But that's the nature of Bob Arum. I think that he does that, and I don't think that it's a bad thing for the sport. I don't agree with Bob on that one.
Yeah,
hey, D, let me sign out.
Oh, okay.
I'm back in.
All right, no doubt. Come on back. I got you. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. Bob Arum, he's I don't know if you could take it to heart. I think it's just like promotional thing.
Right.
He's trying to bring down the other promotions to elevate himself, make himself look good. So yeah, I can't really take too much into it.
Yeah, but you gotta take what Bob Arum say with a grain of salt, especially these days, because I swear, man, sometimes it seems like dementia or Alzheimer's is starting to kick in on that old guy, because he contradicts himself left and right, bro. He contradicts himself left and right these days. So you kind of got to take what Bob says with a grain of salt, keep moving.
How old is that guy? He's got to be mid-80s, almost 90 years old.
He's got to be, bro, because he's fucking been in boxing almost 60 years alone, just in the sport.
It's crazy how old that dude is.
Yeah, so
he's been in for so long.
Yeah. He's definitely, I will give him credit and say that he's definitely the most knowledgeable promoter in this sport, because he's been around so long. He has the massive amount of experience, and he's a smart guy. He brings forth a lot of fights. So, I will give him credit for saying he's probably the most knowledgeable promoter in this sport.
Yeah, been around for a long time. Feels like forever. But as long as we get on the thing, I agree. There's a lot of people saying Wilder sucks, this and that. I feel like the only difference is it's heavyweight boxing, and when you got that much power, you don't need to be some master. I think that's the difference in the heavyweight division. You got to be. All it takes is one shot, like to be a very good athlete, come in there, be able to land your big right hand. That's technique in itself. So people
Breaking up. You're breaking up a little
I
bit.
get okay.
Yeah, it's just out in the wilderness. That's all, dog. You out there in the sticks. Probably got a tower about 20 miles away from you. we got a good part of that though. We got a good part of what you were saying. And you know, it's like this, guys. When it comes to Bob Arum is gonna say what is beneficial to Bob Arum in Top Rank. If it's not beneficial to Bob Arum in Top Rank, then you're probably not going to get too much validity out of Bob Arum. Let me say it that way. That's just how Bob is. That caller is talking BS. Wilder power is overrated, South Korea. I don't think so, man. I really don't. Colin came back with the new and improved logo.
Hilarious.
Yeah. I don't know South Korea. I don't think Wilder's power is overrated. I think that because of the lack of technique and Wilder being able to transition his weight efficiently, when you go on against elite fighters, that power doesn't seem what it's supposed to be. But taking a quote from the great Evander Holyfield, South Korea, when you knock a guy out by hitting him in the forehead, that power is undeniable, bro. And Wilder has done that on 3 different occasions, bro. He has knocked guys out, hitting them on the forehead. Any boxer, any fighter will tell you that's the hardest part. That's the hardest spot to knock a guy out, hitting them in the face. That chin, that temple, back of the neck even, but that forehead, that's the tough spot. And Wilder has done that 3 times over without the correct technique, South Korea. And when you account for all of that, that man's power is official. His power is official. In my opinion, bro. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I just think that I don't think that it's overrated. I think Wilder just lacks the skill and technique to reach the full potential of that power. But the fact that he can do and has done what he's done with that power, I don't really question Wilder's power. And I think most of the guys that taste it will go to sleep. That's what I think.
I think the problem with Wilder is that we understand that your weapon is the big right hand. We get it. Everybody has something about them that they do better than other people. Some people well around it, but there has to be different ways, to set up what you're trying to do. We know what you're trying to do, but there has to be ways that you can stay competitive until you can land it cleanly. You can't just be out there winging that right hand. It's like, bro, so you don't have the skills to, okay, maybe you can't outbox somebody cleanly, but you should be able to take at least 1 or 2 rounds off of them, get them comfortable until you can land that motherfucker. You can't just be out there just throwing that right hand, throwing the right hand. And that's what he was doing in even the second fight. He was just throwing the shit out of that right hand. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Tyson Fury knew what was coming, so he was just kind of rolling with it. It was like, man, really, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, again, it's no secret to anybody that's been watching this sport that Wilder literally was getting by a lot of these fights by the skin of his teeth. Because, and this is why I say this, he was knocking the guys out. But the reason I say he was getting by the skin of his teeth, because if he didn't get those knockouts, guess what? He lost a lot of those fights, bro. He would have lost a lot of those fights, which means it was knockout for nothing, or nothing. Yeah. Now, if you're in a position where you're going in the fights and it's knockout or nothing, then, bro, come on. Like, that's not even something that we really have to debate about. You know what I mean? Like, Wilder, I don't know, man. Like, I like Anthony. I like Deontay Wilder. But, the way he's moved in this sport, you know, and the lies that's been told, the excuses that's been made, you can't respect him. You can't respect him or the way his career is gone, bro. Again, like you're to this point, Deontay Wilder, where you haven't even unified.
Right.
You haven't even unified. They talk about all of your damn 10 defenses, and now you've lost your belt before you ever even had the chance to unify that thing. And he had a chance to unify before Joshua snatched up all them belts, because people always talk about that. He could have got Charles Martin, but Shelly Finkel said he was a baby. Get the fuck out of here, bro. And I know people remember that. He could have unified then. That's before Joshua got a hold of that belt. Well, what did Finkel say? Oh, Wilder's a baby.
No, the baby crack was for Klitschko. He could have unified Klitschko first.
That's what it was. It was for Klitschko. Even still, bro.
Yeah, they skipped Klitschko, and then Charles Martin got the IBF. And,
Right.
They let, I don't know how they let Eddie Hearn get that fight.
Well, I mean, even still at the time, you're right, it was for Klitschko, but even still at the time, that's the mentality they had of the guy, that he was a baby. He was still coming up. He didn't, you know, they just didn't want to put him out there. That's the type of fight that he should have fought. Fuck, he should have fought Klitschko. He should have fought both fights. This would have gave this is the type of thing that would have made him better. You know what I mean? Now, real quick, let me answer this. South Croy. Maybe you have not been around long enough, but this is what we do around here. So I just dropped a link in the chat for you, South Croy. You can back out and go look at this video, and I have plenty more videos for you. This is on my channel. We do defend Anthony Joshua. We have said that he gets too much criticism. He's hated. So when you come and you make statements like this, maybe you should watch the content. Don't come in new and hear what we're talking about now and then just assume that we don't say these things. So you go watch that video, and if that's not enough evidence for you, I have plenty more that I can drop on you to let you know that we have said this before.
You
know what I mean? So go check that out, South Croy, and then come back with your opinion. LeBron said he doesn't suck because he only has one weapon. He sucks because he refuses to gain knowledge, and he looked off on the ring. Well, a combination of both, LeBron. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but yeah, he sucks for the reason that he's a one-trick pony. He sucks because he's not trying to get better. He sucks because he's a little long in the tooth to get but so much better. So there's multiple reasons. I hear what Bob is saying, because boxers get paid more than UFC fighters. So if UFC puts on an event, they are paying their guys a couple of $100,000 compared to these boxers getting a couple of million. That's a fact. But hey, bro, business side of it, Samuel, is their fucking problem, not the fans. Make it happen. Now, I mean, look, that's just the reality of it. And I'm not disagreeing with anything of what Samuel is saying. That makes perfect sense, right? But at the end of the day, the business side of it is their fucking problem. As the fan, make this shit happen. And Bob is just like Iron Cone said earlier, he's saying things to protect himself. And because of what you said there, Samuel Shaw, that's a protection that Bob is putting up. That's the type of protection. I don't give a fuck, Bob. Spend the money. What you worth, a few $100 million? Spend the goddamn money. Shit. I don't want to hear it. If a basketballer scores 80 points every match, does that mean he's the greatest? Or you have to look at what his team was? Well, let me tell you this, South Croy, because I do basketball, which I need to step up a little more. If a basketball player scored 80 points every game, I don't give a fuck what his team looked like. Yes, he would be considered the greatest player.
If they're all in the same league, bro.
Yeah. Yes, he would be considered, because not even the great Wilt Chamberlain averaged 80 points a game. Wilt Chamberlain, who averaged more than any player ever in an entire career, in a career or even in a season, and we're talking in the 50 points, 50s. This is a man that scored 100 points in one game, and he averaged 50 points and think 30.2 rebounds or something a season. He didn't even average anywhere close to 80. And he's in the discussion of the top 10 greatest. Michael Jordan, who averaged in the 30s on a career average, is considered the greatest player of all time. Again, in the 30s. If somebody averaged 80 points every match, fucking right, that means he's the greatest player. And I don't think that anybody will argue that, my man. So I kind of get your analogy, but try again, bro. That's a bad example right there, because the answer to that question would be an emphatic yes.
If they are playing in the NBA, then that's the greatest of all time.
Yeah, you got that right, bro.
I mean, okay, I get what he's saying, because
I do. Like I said, a lot
of Wilder fans, what they like to do is just kind of put out the blanket. Oh, he's had 10 defenses. I'm like, okay, cool, and that's admirable, because you've managed to keep your belt through 10 defenses, no matter who you're boxing against, because all these people are boxers, and you could lose. Right. The problem is, here was what they tried to do is discredit the people who are his peers, like Anthony Joshua. So he fought bums, and he's a fought. So no. So the problem comes where, okay, if you're going to just call a number and say he had 10 defenses, and you want to discredit Anthony Joshua's opponents for his defenses, we now have to go and look at Deontay Wilder's opponents. And what we will find is that those 10 defenses, a lot of them, most of them, were subpar scrubs who had no business fighting for a belt. You understand? Especially for somebody at 30 fights in. You know what I'm saying? So as long as 10 defenses is fine, but if you really have to drill down and dig into those 10 defenses, you'll see that most of them are subpar. The only, in my opinion, worthy title defense that Deontay Wilder had was Tyson Fury. And maybe Luis Ortiz.
Right.
But Luis Ortiz wasn't no, like, big-time fighter. I mean, he didn't do nothing in his career either. But Wilder is bad, so he was beating Wilder around the ring. Right? I saw Luis Ortiz fight Dave Allen. I saw him fight Malik Scott. He looked like shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Anyway, so.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. I mean, like, let me see. Let me go to Samuel said, hold on, man. I don't feel. Hold on, Samuel, because I fell behind on the chat. Icon was dropping gems, son. Let me see. Unbiased, so biased, boxing talk back. Come join us, Unbiased. Unbiased said Andre got a worse resume than Tank Davis. He said that one was for Ralph Unreal. Wow. That's funny. He said, y'all know Wilder got the best resume. It's ridiculous. Yo, that's funny. Monkey Kung Fu in the building. What's up, Monkey? He said Wilder is the Happy Gilmore of boxing. There you go, Monkey. He got that. Nothing. There you go, Monkey Kung Fu. The Happy Gilmore of boxing. Now that, where's South Croy at? South Croy.
That's big time.
Is a good.
That's real talk. That's real talk. Happy Gilmore.
That's what you call a good analogy right there. Good one, Monkey Kung Fu. Shiz. Nick Harmon said, Shiz Biz, I miss you earlier. I hope y'all good, bro. Yo, we all hope you good, Shiz Biz. Samuel Shaw said, D Jeff, if the promoters spend the money, then where is the return? Yeah. Look, Samuel, cut this shit, bro. Here's another perspective to look at it in, Samuel Shaw. See, this is what Samuel do. I don't know why you keep doing this, Samuel. You keep challenging me. So I oblige, fucker. Now, here it goes. Sometimes in business, Samuel Shaw, and I'm sure that you know this since you brought up this very valid point. Sometimes in business, it may be worth taking a bit of a loss to gain later. Businessmen actually practice that, Samuel Shaw. So, once again, I get your point, Samuel Shaw. But back to my original thought, I don't give a shit. Make it happen. Stop fucking with me, Samuel. I told you once.
I think Eddie had an interview with Boxing Social where he was talking about the hits that they're going to take. He says, you know, of course, I mean, the purses for some people are going to have to come down, but for some people, some of these fights are going to have to be taken into countries because not every country is struggling with the same issues. some of them are getting over this shit. So some of these fights might have to be taken elsewhere, right? But he's saying, yeah, he's gonna come back with studio shows, but he's not just gonna come back with any bullshit. He's gonna come back with something nice.
Something nice, right?
You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna just put some motherfuckers in a garage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. South Croy, you new to the channel, bro. Look, you're gonna be part of the Speak Your Mind Sports Talk family. Get thick skin, because I got it. Now look, I wasn't really coming at you like that, bro. And I think that if you listen to what I said, I was like, I understand your analogy, but nice try. And that was just basically because I kind of threw the analogy off. But I got what you were saying. I think Iron Kong got it too. We understood the analogy. I was just saying it was a bad analogy because the answer to your question would have been yes. You know what I mean? You just got to come up with an analogy where it fits. And that one didn't fit because if a motherfucker scored 80 points a game in the NBA, yeah, he the greatest ever, bro. Yeah, I'm telling you now. And fans love to see people score. So what do you think he would be called? The greatest ever, right? So that's all I was saying, South Korea. But I got you, bro. You know, I'm going to take some shots at you like everybody else. Don't you hear me going that Samuel Shaw?
Samuel Shaw be bothering you, though, man.
We do this all the time. And I'm going. I just go at him sometimes, even when he ain't going at me, just because off GP, dog.
Hey man, I gotta call out. I'm biased. Was bullying this dude, Fight Doctor, on Raphael Dawkins' live, man.
Oh no,
I'm biased. I was just like, oh, I'm biased.
I got one. I'm biased. Come talk to us, man.
I'm biased how that dude can't talk. He was stuttering. I'm like, why am biased doing this to this guy, man?
Why you doing it like that, unbiased? You don't be bullying guys. You know you the top dog, bro. You can't be doing that, beating up the little. He beating up the prospects.
I'm biased how that dude.
Caribbean, man. Stop that.
In a camel clutch. I was like, oh. I just kept pouring it on. I'm like, these guys, man.
Oh man, unbiased. You bullying up the little prospects, man. Come on. He should call in better and explain your points out, Crow. Okay, L. I'm beginning to think this is El Jefe back in the shadows. I'm beginning to think this is El Jefe back in the shadows. He done cut the El Jefe off and everything else and just back as L now.
Yo,
hold on, guys. What's up, bro? I'm on the live, but what's up?
Oh, you on
the live? Yeah, I'm on the live. All right, guys. That was my brother. Anyway, yeah. El Jefe, don't try to hide. Come out if it's you.
Did this boxing channel close down?
Here you go. Amaya says, D defending Bob. Hey, Amaya, look, bro. You know how it go with me. Sometimes it's defense and sometimes it's smash, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah, double talking D.
Nah, dog. You just, I mean, look, bro. It's like they say, how it go, Iron Cone. Nobody is, goddamn, fire truck. Okay, nobody is above criticism or beyond praise. You know what I mean? So again, like Bob ain't above criticism, but he not beyond praise either. I might have said it backwards, but y'all know what I mean. Like,
I got you.
Anybody can get it. Like, you know what I mean? Because Bob does a lot of good things, bro. He brings a lot of fights that we want to see. And you can't discredit him for that. And that goes way back into history. So I can't just sit here and smash the man on everything. But does he contradict himself? Yes. Does he get in the way of fights that we want to see? Yes. Does he lie and deceive us? Yes. Is he a fucking snake? Yes. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah. So, no, what you mean, no?
Leave that old man alone, man. What's
that
wrong?
Man is the biggest snake in this business, dog. I'm talking about he is that 22-foot King Cobra, the world record-breaking King Cobra. Wow. That's Bob Arum, baby.
Yeah, he a dirty motherfucker, man. People like I was on Twitter the other day and we were talking, had this discussion. And I was like, I don't care nothing about Bob Arum and them. These are the same people who are part, because it was the same Dana White situation. And Dana Anderson was like, yo, it's people like Bob Arum why boxing is destroyed today. And he's not wrong. The same people who are trying to so-called save the sport are the same people who destroyed the sport way back when. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Boxing Monster, dog. Hold on, I'm gonna read these 2 comments first before I get to this damn comedian. All right, so no, I'm a completely different guy. Just showing support. All right, I appreciate you, dog. We got El Jefe. Everybody knows him here. He's part of the Speak Your Mind Sports Talk family. He's
El Jefe's channel, man.
El Jefe is the Speak Your Mind Sports Talk family troll. That's what he is. But he is a part. Hey, man, I just said he's a part of the family, bro. He family. You know, you got them family members you don't like, and they get on your damn nerves, but they still part of your family. That's El Jefe.
You can't fuck with El Jefe, bro.
Yeah, El Jefe, good people, man. The fight doctor is a historian, LLL. He's not a prospect. I just had to put him in his place for that point. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know how you do unbiased. Okay. Oh, unbiased got into an historian. Okay, Colin, you ain't tell us that. He was a historian.
Ain't no historian. If he was a historian, that ain't no fucking history. Historians deal with actual facts. This dude is a Wilder fan who was he was trying to hide it. He ain't no historian. Get out of here,
man. All right, Boxing Monster. Here we go. D. Jefferson can't go at nobody until he explains he knows his sports birthing him in his channel. Listen, man, I'm not even going into that shit. I just wanted to read it because Boxing Monster is crazy as hell. Samuel Shaw said, I appreciate that, dog. I feel the same way about you, homie. Who you talking about? Who you talking about, Samuel Shaw? He talk about me? He probably came with a snappy comeback. I'm so lost, man. Him and Boxing Monster got a big stuff. South Croy said, beating 100 southpaw opponents can't convince me that the man is the best at whatever discipline he participates in. I agree with that. Totally. I don't know what that was in reference to, but that statement there, I don't think anybody would disagree with that. If you beat 100 subpar opponents, yeah, for a fact, you're still mediocre because you haven't proven it against any elite opponents, you know. So yeah, good point, South Press. Basically, all I can say, Boxing Monster. Yeah, I know, man. Boxing Monster crazy. Unbiased. Toby said, Monster, did D duck you? Hell no. Speaking of duck, let me tell you something, Toby, since you brought that up. Hell no. This dude, Boxing Monster, been ducking me in that prediction league ever since I got in. I mean, if you look up the definition, duck, you'll see Boxing Monster right next to the definition, smiling. That man is duck. Remember the goddamn Nintendo game, Duck Hunt? That was Boxing Monster flying across the screen. That motherfucker been ducking me. Hey, you better not duck me, son. When Boxer come back, get in that prediction league, you better not duck me, son. Boxing Monster. Unbiased says, fight doctor know his boxing. He just saying crazy shit when it come to Wilder. He know his boxing, Iron Cone. He ain't no.
But isn't that the problem though? For some reason, Wilder fans or fanboys would suspend their intellect, shit that they know is true, shit that they know that they should stand on. They will suspend that just to support Wilder, no matter how ridiculous it sounds, no matter how much hoops they gotta jump through, right? It's like all these Wilder fans, these are smart people, but they have to do so much extra shit, make themselves look stupid to defend Deontay Wilder. They make shit up. I don't respect that.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't respect that. So he probably does know his boxing. But then I'm listening to this man. It's like, yo, why you gotta go through all this? You're telling lies and all this dumb shit, excusing this man. You're a smart person, but for Wilder, people really would lie and just put their brain on absolute comatose state.
Yeah.
You know, I don't understand. So I don't respect him, man. No.
Yeah, I feel you, dog. South Croy. South Croy, he's still South Croy. South Croy said, but D, the point I made that you agree with just now is the same analogy I made in the statement you ridiculed. Okay, South Croy, I thought I explained this to you before, bro. But let me explain it again. So the analogy you made, both Iron Cone and myself, we said, yeah, I get the analogy. What I ridiculed was the analogy, not the point. That's what I'm saying. We got the analogy. So we got the point that you were making with the analogy. What I ridiculed was the analogy. I said it was a bad analogy because, again, if a player scored 80 points, it would be yes. So you can't come with an analogy that pretty much doesn't support the point that you're making. So it was a bad analogy, not the point. So, you know, I get your point, bro. And it was a good point that you were making. That's why we said it. We understood the analogy, but it's just the fact that I had to bash it because in basketball, if you're scoring 80 points, I don't give a damn about your team, bro. You're going to be considered the best. You're going to be considered the best ever. And if you're scoring 80 points in the game, your team don't got to do much. That means nobody in the fucking league can stop you. And this is all the best players in the world. You're going to win. You're going to win. That's a fact. So, all right, South Croy, we square. South Croy ain't letting up, bro. We good, homie. I'm not disrespecting you, dog. Fight Doctor is saying that one world shit is crazy. Yeah, I don't know about this Fight Doctor dude. He sounds kind of suspect. I don't know. I might go check him out, listen to him. Don't you duck me, son. That's right, Toby. Try to tell Monster Monster. Don't duck me, son. On that South Park episode when Brian owes Stewie money, he said, "You've been ducking me, man." Fucking him up. You've been ducking me, man. I need to see Samuel Shaw and D at the first fight back. No spectators, no refs. I'll put that work on Samuel Shaw. He'd be like, God damn, this nigga a little Tasmanian devil. Put that work on that Indiana boy. He said, hey, you must read every character on the screen. Monster old man. Yeah, he was telling lies. I don't know, man. If it's a Wilder fan, I wouldn't put it past them telling lies. So let's get some, so guys, oh shit. Man, didn't I just tell my brother I was on live? Maybe he pocket dialed me. Sometimes you tell people, yo, I'm on live. I'm on live. I'm on live. And then they keep calling you. Then if they don't call you, they send you a text message. Well, ain't it the same thing? Because if I can't respond to your call right now, I probably can't respond to your text message. I'm getting ready to shut this down in a little bit, guys. I just wanted to ask y'all one more question. I see Unbiased ain't joining me today. Where the hell is Smoke been? I gotta get a hold of Smoke. But anyway, this goes out to my Erickson Lubin peoples. Erickson Lubin is, and this is the last topic. We might spend a little time on this. Iron Cone, I want to get your opinion on this. Everybody in the chat, I want to get your opinion on this too. We're gonna close out with this one. Erickson Lubin has put Tony Harrison on notice. But here's the thing. This is what Erickson Lubin is saying. Erickson Lubin is saying that he feels like since he lost to Charlo, and he's been working his way back up to get to a Charlo fight, and Tony Harrison just went with 2 fights and he lost the belt back to Charlo, that both of them should fight each other, and then the winner get a shot at their rematch. They're both well-deserved rematch with Charlo. And me personally, I think that I like that. I like that attitude by Erickson Lubin. I like the idea by Erickson Lubin. And I think that that's reasonable. What you think about that, Iron Cone?
I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with it. Erickson Lubin and Harrison, that's a good fight. Yeah. Regardless of the stakes or whatever, that's a good, solid fight. So these stakes are for, you know, if I think Charlo said he wants his next fight to be against Lara or something, right?
Yeah. Well,
so
he said if he can't get any of these unification matches, because I guess Rosario wanted tune-ups and shit, and you know, so he can't really get a hold of his hands on any unification. So he's going after Lara, which is
hey man,
a very
that's no problem. That's no problem. You know what I'm saying? I think that is a reasonable request. The problem is the PBC doesn't do reasonable requests. He's in the wrong place. You understand me? So to me, that's a reasonable request. It is sensible and it's a solid fight. I'm with it. I agree.
Yeah, I'm with that, bro. I mean, I like it. I like it. Let me see, Samuel. No, I was kidding, my brother. I'm trying to see. So what y'all think in the chat about that? That Charlo, let me see. Yeah, D. Jeffers prediction. Weak like clock radio speakers. Samuel, you know I like the Bull D though. Yeah, man. Hey, it's all good. Bring it on. We're gonna have another roast session too soon, man. Mark said he was upset he missed that. He said he had a couple of good jokes for me. Iron Con, you missed it too, bro. We had a good roast session, dog. It was the D. Jefferson roast. We spent an hour. I think I capped it at like an hour. I didn't want to take it too long, but it was real fun. We had a lot of fun. It would be yes, even if the other basketball teams are high school level of your team. Man, let me tell you something. That's the thing. And this is what you got to understand. First and foremost, you're saying the NBA. So in the NBA, regardless,
there's a lot of points.
These are the best players around the world. So you can't even, that's not even a scenario you can throw in there, South Korea. And I can't believe that you're still on this thing, bro, because I gave you respect for the point that you was making and all of that. I was just crushing the analogy. But with that being said, this is the highest level that you can obtain. And it's just like saying that the worst team in the league, which was the New York Knicks, loses to Duke or whatever team won the national championship. And that was at the collegiate level. And that's going to be an emphatic no. The Knicks would beat the shit out of them. And everybody knows that. So this is the highest league that you could get to. So if any player, again, was to score 80 points a game in that league, which is the plateau of basketball leagues, yes, bro. Again, yes, they're going to be considered the greatest player ever. That's an astronomical amount of points, bro. Maybe if you had taken it down and said like 65 points a game, which has not been done, but at least Will Chamberlain was only 15 points under that, right? So maybe if you said something like that, then you know that would have made the analogy better. But again, I wasn't bashing your point or the fact of what you meant by the analogy. I was just bashing the analogy because it didn't fit. That's all, South Korea. And no matter how much you try, nigga, that shit ain't gonna fit. So
you gotta let that one go.
You gotta let that one go, dog. Just take that one. Take that one on the chin, my nigga.
Go.
Raider from LA Studios, Compita. Samuel Shaw says, Chin Smoke, I just call out bullshit. I do it with everybody, but he's the one who steps up to the challenge. Yeah, that's right, nigga. And I'm gonna keep stepping up to the challenge. You stop fucking with me, Samuel. Yeah, so Erickson Lubin, man, what's up, man? I got Iron Combs. I was trying to get y'all opinion on this Lubin. What y'all think about that Lubin situation? Do y'all think, my brother K Harvey with the super chat $5. I'm enjoying the show as usual. Appreciate you, dog. I appreciate all you guys, man. The super chats, the likes, the shares, man. Y'all the best. This is the best family. This is the best sports family in the YTBC, straight up. All right, Samuel says, Chin Smoke, nah, bro. The bullshitters, and they feel some type of way, I guess. Yeah, that's it, man. You call out bullshitters and they gonna feel some kind of way. LeBron says the roast was fire. Yeah, that shit was fire, bro. That shit was so much fun. We had a good time. They had some really funny jokes. Justin Trouble, man. Justin Trouble. The rules, Iron Cone, this was the rules on the roast. If you tell a bad joke, you get timed out. So you're gonna have to sit out for 5 minutes and think about a good joke. It was an hour and a half because Justin Trouble got timed out 5 goddamn times. he came with a couple of good ones though, but he took the cake for the timeouts. He's going with some bad ones, dog. I'm telling you. I got some jokes, but I'm going to save them for when El Jefe resurrect. Yeah, man, El Jefe, bro. Got some new jokes. Okay, well, you always got something new to say. But I wasn't comparing teams that are in the NBA. All right, South Korea, you win. We got you. You win. I didn't even know what you said there. I'm done with that shit, bro. South Korea ain't taking no L's. Hell no. That's why I just gave it to him. You win. You got it, bro. Uh-oh, yeah, DJ done took an L from South Korea. Everybody heard it. He won.
Oh, hey, yo, brother D, thank you for having me on.
King. Yeah, bro, I'm ready to shut it down too. Give me some closing thoughts before you leave, dog. I'm ready to shut it down. Anyway.
My closing thoughts is that I think Deontay Wilder gonna have to take a 3-0 to Tyson Fury. I know some people say that it's actually 1 draw, 1 loss, but I think he's gonna take 3-0. That's my opinion to Tyson Fury.
Right.
I think Anthony Joshua gonna beat up Kubrat Pulev really bad. I think Dillian White's gonna win his fight, and that's about it from me. And I don't think PBC gonna do shit this year. That's all.
All right, my friend. I appreciate you coming on and kicking it with me, my man.
Yeah. Later, Bridget.
All right, bro. And I agree with a lot of the things that Iron Khan said. When it comes to the kid Dylan Price, kudos to Dylan Price and his father for doing what I said I felt Tank Davis should have done a long time ago. He should have gotten the hell away from Mayweather Promotions. And so they've taken that step early while the kid's still young. Only 10 fights under his belt. They're not going to go any further with him. They're not going to feel confident that Mayweather's going to move him in the right direction. So whether he signs with another major or not right now, I still say that it's a good move getting that kid the hell away from Leonard Ellaby, because Ellaby's no good for these young prospects. And since Floyd allows him to run most of these things and get in the camera and tell all of the bullshit, good move for Price getting away from them. And Wilder getting no respect, guys, I'll close it out with this. And South Croy, listen, man. Before I close this out, South Croy, man, you are welcome here anytime, bro. I like your resilience. He said, you're being silly, bro, because nowhere in my analogy did I say anything about the NBA. You putting words in my mouth, South Croy. Don't take it so personal, bro. Even if it wasn't the NBA, the point is in any prospective league, South Korea, whether it was a collegiate league, high school level league, if that player is in that league, then the players around him and the team surrounding him are still at the equivalent level. So in that prospective league, he still would be considered the greatest high school player of all time, or as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, or at the time Lou Alcindor, the greatest collegiate player of all time. Or in the NBA, as Michael Jordan, the greatest NBA. So he would be considered the greatest basketball player of all time in that prospective league, my friend. So whether it was the NBA or the USFA or USFBA or the Chinese league or whatever, if a player scored 80 points consistently in every game in any league at any level, they would be considered the greatest of all time at that league, at that level. South Korea. It just will not fit, bro. And Wilder does get disrespected so much to the point that people are underestimating him severely and overestimating what a lot of these guys can do. So let's come back to level playing field and stop disrespecting this guy so much, because, yeah, he got his ass whipped by Tyson Fury. But how many Tyson Furies do we have running around the heavyweight division? And that's why Wilder still deserves more respect than he's getting. Y'all know how I always end this thing. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Peace.